he's saying that adrenochrome is the strongest drugs he's ever done after he just did an entire suitcase of every drug essentially known to man, right? So the fact that he holds this little vial up and he says, this is the most powerful thing that I've ever come across, it really establishes itself as part of lore. Like it forms a mythology around that exact moment. And it's even more detailed in the book. They go more into detail about how you can only get it from Satanists and it has to come from a fresh body and tinfoil hat.
Oh, what the f- are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Revolution will be podcasted. All right, guys, welcome to Tinfoil Hat live from the Wolfpack Gold and Bitcoin studios. That's right. Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. Just go to samtripoli.gold. Use the promo code TINFOIL, and you too can get in on the Precious Metals game for as little as $50 a month. Very excited to have our guest back. He's done it multiple times. Had some really great discussions. I even brought up a discussion we had with him and his co-host on Rogan before, I believe. So very excited to have him on. Please welcome the Paranoid American. How are you, brother?
Hey, thank you. Yeah, you're talking about the episode with Nate from Reality Czars. That was a really a fun one. That is UFOs and aliens and Bigfoot and demons all the same thing.
Yeah, and how what you believe is what you see, right? Like, so what's the difference between someone who sees a Bigfoot and sees an alien? I know that they don't necessarily believe in God, right? So you see angels if you believe in God. What are the ways people see those two other things? I don't know if you remember that right now, but
I remember the premise of it. I don't know if I 100% prescribe to it, but the concept is that whatever is the closest thing that's in your brain that can represent it to you without breaking your mind, that's what it's going to be portrayed as. So if you understand what a demon might look like, or an alien, or an angel, then you might see it in those kind of capacity. But if you're secular, but you're really big in the Bigfoot, that might be the thing that pushes you over the edge into, I can't quite tell what that is, to, oh, I know what that is.
I literally opened the show with raisins on my shirt. Thomas, beep that.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Paranoid American.
You're not going to dox me. You're fine.
Okay.
My name's on all the comics that I put out, but most people just call me Paranoid like it's my first name now.
Paranoid. For the fans who haven't seen your last couple appearances, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
Yeah, I mean, ex-military, current Freemason, ex-Freemason, ex-Disney animator for 10 years. And I've been working on doing comic books since 2012, so almost like 15 plus years. And my whole goal was to take everything that I learned in the military and everything I learned at Disney and to put that into comic books in like a new approachable way that I hadn't seen done before and that I was looking for. I was starved for it. So I just ended up doing it myself.
Well, first of all, your presentation here is gorgeous. The computer behind you playing Tetris is playing
Slimer back there rotating. I see.
But Slimer is cool. Whoa, that's pretty cool. So when you say that you are ex-Freemason, what does that mean? Our changes.
I got tired of paying the dues, so I technically I've been in arrears for maybe like 2 years now. They don't quite kick you out necessarily, but I don't know if I'm allowed to go to Lodge and check out the books at the exact moment.
Well, we've had Freemasons. What do you think the biggest, and I know this isn't what you're here to talk about, but what do you think
man?
What do you think the biggest misconception about Freemasons is?
That it's a cohesive unit. And the same way that you would think that, every governor in the entire U.S. are all meeting and they're deciding what they're going to do collectively as governors. It's like very much localized, individualized, even to the point where people shop around for a lodge. You might shop around and be like, this one's, like 60s and 70s retiree community. And then you might find another one, it's like a biker gang lodge. And people like really shop around the same way that you might find a dive bar that you're going to be a part of. And it's not like all dive bars operate the same way. I guess that's the best way that I can put that.
No, I respect that. And it's also like, I guess it's any group that like the more you move up it, kind of the crazier it gets. I would suggest that's my biggest thing is that like, yeah, it's like Catholics, Muslims, when you meet them on a street level, they're pretty laid back and everyone just wants to make a dollar, get laid, take care of their kids, have a laugh, drink a beer. Well, not Muslims, but they want to drink a beer. And then you go up higher up, it gets a little bit more insane. You're following a Matt LaCroix episode, in which he kind of breaks down, the Hermetic principles, and he starts to get into the understanding of that a lot of these secret societies took this knowledge and hid it from us, and then gave us organized religion and all that stuff. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with that 100%. I think that Apocalypto, that Mel Gibson movie, is my favorite analogy for all of this. It can if you want to oversimplify everything, Apocalypto is that one high priest that essentially gets to be king because he understands how eclipse work and that he can turn that into fear. And then he's got the answer. He's like, I'll make sure the sun comes back, right? Like, I'll be the guy. But if you don't feed me what I need, then the sun goes away forever. And when the eclipse starts, people freak out and are like, all right, this guy knows what he's talking about. But he's just taking some sort of scientific astrological observation that's he objectively can plan because he knows how a calendar works, and he can use that against people. The same as the Arthur C. Clarke's any sufficiently advanced form of technology is indistinguishable from magic. I think that's pretty much what we're describing when you talk about using hidden knowledge to control people.
Who was that quote?
Arthur C. Clarke.
When was he alive?
He was working with Stanley Kubrick, I believe. So this is like 1950s, 1960s.
That's why I've been saying that all advanced weaponry is just hardwired mysticism.
Yeah. It's like if you know how to control the AI. If you know how to control the algorithm.
Or you know what AI really is, but you can make it a shadow in the cave and make it scarier than maybe it is. I'm not saying it doesn't have the possibilities of getting out of control, but it seems we will call this era of AI the retarded era because it gets stuff wrong all the time. It censors itself all the time. But if you're like, oh, I'm behind the scenes and what we're seeing is absolutely insanity, humanity is in deep trouble, when it's just another tool to use. I don't know, that makes sense to me, right? That it's just a giant shadow in the cave. A great example of this, and I'm sorry, guys, everyone could hate me for this, but this Iranian-Israel war is like really more and more make me not believe in nukes. I'm sorry. Like, Israel is absolutely psychopath. This is paranoid talking. This is Sam. Absolutely psychopath. They would have nuked somebody by now if they could. They have zero problems with dropping it. Why have it? They're getting pounded. You don't think the minute they got one pounding, they would fucking just throw a nuke at Iran? Where is it?
Like, how bad would it have to get for you to use it if you had it?
Are they worried about their reputation? Nobody fucking likes them. They all think they're scumbags. So it's like, again, when the whole thing like, oh, dude, we got nukes, don't fuck with us. They're like, oh, I got nukes. Why? People are freaking out. I think it's getting more and more obvious, and I like it. I'm just pulling out of politics because everyone's a retard.
I actually have another quote based on the Arthur C. Clarke one that you like. And this one fits with conspiracy theories, and I wish more people cited it. And I think it's called Gray's Law, and it's that any sufficiently advanced ineptitude is indistinguishable from malice, meaning that if you're so dumb and you're so incapable that things get screwed up and you start a war, or things get screwed up and something horrific happens, that it doesn't really matter whether or not it was incompetence or malice. it might as well be the same thing. So that's one of my other favorite ones.
Dude,
it applies to every conspiracy.
That is so profound. I wish you had gave me that 5 years ago when I started Conspiracy Social Club with Brian Callen. You know, maybe they just messed up. Complete ineptitude and malice are pretty much the same thing. All right, so Paranoid, let's get to it. Every day I talk about the comic book coming out. I want to take full responsibility for that. It hasn't come out yet. It is my fault. We're getting this Kickstarter going. I deeply apologize. Okay? It's my fault. I've just been so slammed. I need a moment to say there's something going on with my banking with the Kickstarter. But how close are we to done?
I mean, all the inside pages are fully done. Artwork, lettering. One of the covers is done. All we got to do is make an alternate cover and then figure out what kind of cool patches and little collector coins and all the ancillary stuff that you can only get by backing the Kickstarter. Because that's usually what people like to jump these Kickstarters. They get all these exclusive swag and things you won't get ever again. So that's the only things is just to figure out exactly what those are and launch. But I mean, we're as soon as you say go, we're 30 days out from launching the campaign.
Okay. I promise to get this done tomorrow. I got nothing tomorrow afternoon. I will call Kickstarter, put my foot in their butt, and figure out why I can't get my thing going. So we'll get that.
We're going to kill it, man. We broke records at Indiegogo on issue 1, and now we're going on Kickstarter, and Kickstarter is going to actively help promote it. So this will be huge. I mean, I'm expecting this to like double or triple what we did with Indiegogo.
I'm very excited. The first episode was great. My daughters loved it.
It's kind of worked out though, right? You've built hype by just saying it's a week away for the past year or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a ton of hype.
It's not malice. It's ineptitude. So I'll keep you posted. Now, you want to come on and talk about something interesting. Why don't you tell us what you would like to talk about?
Well, the thing that I've unwittingly found myself being, I guess, an expert in is Adrenochrome, and it was because of comic books. An expert in. Well, so I was working on a comic book, and the premise, and I never made this comic, but the premise was that a bunch of kids get together and they order Adrenochrome on the dark web. And I was writing this out, and I got to the part where the Adrenochrome comes into the mailbox, and they go out and they get it, and then I just started wondering to myself, like, okay, now what? Do you snort it? Do you smoke it? Do you inject it? Is it intravenous? Is it intramuscular? How long does it take? Like, not just what would actually happen, but what even are all the rumors? Because I've heard the rumors that you got to harvest it from kids and you got to torture people to get it, and that there's like black magic involved. And okay, let's say all that's even true. Once you actually have it in your system, what exactly are we talking about? Because I've got a pretty wide frame of reference. If you mention, like anything from salvia to LSD or whatever, like, okay, I can kind of figure out where that's at on the spectrum. But there really was no report outside of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and they just vaguely say it's like the most potent psychedelic they've ever done.
It's super interesting. So You were talking about, you just mentioned that, did you say the word psyop of it? Is that what you said?
I mean, I didn't say it, but you heard it, so let's talk about the psyop of it.
Okay. So what is your take on that? Like how Adrenochrome has become this big shadow in the cave. I'm not saying it's not real. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it's been a big part in the forefront of the conspiracy community, what is actually going on with that. So, because I every time we do these episodes, I just learn more and more and more and more and more and more. I realize that everything is a rich man's trick, and everything is a psyop to elicit an emotional response and manipulate your energy. Everything, all of it. It's just constantly having you in a heightened sense of anxiety, sadness, depression, and anger. So, Paranoid, what is your thoughts on that whole thing?
I'll skip right to, I guess, the summary of it is that it represents a few different things. So right now, Adrenochrome, for a lot of people, it represents a secular chemical substance that really exists that you can point to that then gets ascribed all of the blood magic mythology from the last 2 or 3 millennia, all of the different blood libel sort of claims, all the Satanic Panic in the 1980s and 1990s, all of that kind of required some sort of a fundamentalist, hard, Christian point of view that you had to believe in demons, you had to believe Satan was after you. But now with Adrenochrome, now it's like, well, regardless on what your religion is or what your spiritual beliefs are, you might believe that there's objectively elites that are doing horrible things to get some sort of either psychedelic powers or, in their mind, some kind of supernatural powers. And that now all of a sudden you don't have to be a hardcore Christian in order to start sharing the exact same conspiracy theories that have been around for way over just thousands of years. Like, what we can get into as much of that, like vampirism, cannibalism, all of that, it kind of comes to a head with adrenochrome being a chemical substance. Almost like if you were to freebase Satanic Panic, you get adrenochrome.
So the question is, how much of this demonic substance that we've been told comes from very dark means, what percentage of that do you think is real?
I think in terms of the demonic aspect, it really just depends on if you think people have the resources and the intent to do the craziest things that you've heard. If we're talking personally, if we step away from the objective facts on adrenochrome, personally, yeah, I don't think that it's that crazy to think that someone that has all the resources and all the money of the world that's also sadistic and maybe has a long body count. I'm not going to mention any like Hillary Clinton names, but it's like if you've got that level of resources and malice in your blood and in your heart, that maybe there is a chance that for a weekend, like, let's go, like, I heard that we can go to this island and do a weird thing. I can eat someone's face and put it on and dance, and let's just see how it pans out. Like, do I believe that someone has the capability to do that? Yes. Do I think they have the money to do it? Yeah. And do I think that someone on the planet would do that? I mean, all of those seem rational. Now, whether or not you have to do black magic or whether or not you have to like torture somebody in order for adrenochrome to be potent, I think I'm way closer to like 0% on that, just because the science doesn't make sense. Yeah. For example, the size of the adrenal glands in a human compared to the size in a cow, it's not even comparable. Like, if you were truly going to harvest adrenochrome, you would just harvest it out of adrenal glands from cows because they're already going to have that byproduct, and no one's like buying adrenal steaks, right? So it would just be like an easy way to already have this pipeline. But that's not to say that people don't go out and buy like private farm batches of veal that was only fed on sweet potatoes and organic kale or something, right? So if these things exist, I think the possibility for someone to do all of the horrific claims, that's possible, because I don't have a lot of faith in humans, and I think that an individual human could absolutely do that. But I don't necessarily think that that changes how adrenochrome affects the human body, which it does.
Well, what you're saying almost makes it worse, though, right? It's and this is the way I've always felt about it. If you take adrenochrome implies some kind of motivation beyond just the sick pleasure of hurting someone. You know, it implies they're getting something out of it, which is, you know, kind of from a utilitarian perspective, maybe that makes sense to them. They can justify it. But I think it's more likely that they're just, this is part of some evil shit that, you know, some
like so, it's like some,
you know what I'm saying? Because I like he's talking about steaks
in
and
a
stuff.
weird way. The Emperor's New Clothes, if that makes any sense, where it's like everyone's like, this is so powerful, but really it's just a ritual to show that
or something
you've entered.
Spiritual. Yeah. Like,
well, there's another side to this, though, and this is the part that I think captured my interest the most. So if you look online, or if you even do any modicum of research, you can find plenty of stuff disproving all of like the satanic claims. But then I started finding people that were also trying to say like adrenochrome didn't even exist, or that it was like a false substance, which was patently false. Like, right? It is absolutely a byproduct of adrenaline in your body breaking down and oxidizing. And
do you
once
believe
it
it's a psychedelic though?
Well, that's the thing, is that usually that gets conflated with someone saying Satanists aren't harvesting adrenochrome, and also it's not a psychedelic. But all of the research that I kept pulling up pointed to not only was it a psychedelic, it was incredibly potent psychedelic, and it was involved in the MK Ultra program. And there's even declassified CIA training videos that cite an antidote for adrenochrome called MER-17. So all of a sudden, I've got on one hand objective proof that the military thought it was a psychedelic, that the original scientist that found it thought it was a psychedelic. Carl Jung thought that it might have been a connection to a psychedelic called Toxin X. So you had all of this basis, and yet modern day, it's almost like there's a whitewash to say no one's ever considered a psychedelic. That's all part of this big hoax. It's all conspiracy theory. So then I find myself trying to separate the wheat from the chaff on like, okay, let's separate all of the Frazzledrip Pizzagate aspect of adrenochrome, but like, what is the actual, like, who researched it, who found it, who named it, why was it named that, what kind of actual scientific experiments have been done with adrenochrome, and what are the results? And I mean, and I've got all that now, but all of it gets suppressed. 100% of that research gets suppressed, all on the back of QAnon misinformation, as if QAnon gets to completely invalidate the last decade of or last 75 years of research into this.
Yeah, and it's very interesting that, I don't know if it's a trope, but the usage of conspiracy theorists as a way to kind of scare you off. Mm-hmm. Like how many times do they have to be right before you go, yeah, I'm a conspiracy theorist. That's why I believe people conspire. That's all you got to do to believe. You know who's really a conspiracy theorist? Progressives who believe that the country is racist, or the country is homophobic, or the country is misogynist. That's a belief that a group of people are coming together and putting their beliefs on other people. That is a conspiracy. They are conspiring to hold gays down, women down, racial groups down. That is a conspiracy. But they put it on whether you think we landed on a moon or not. Hey guys, recently my coin retired that I really like has been on a nice little run. So, you know, hey, how do you find out about coins like retire? Well, there's one place only. Our good friend, James McMahon, and Copy My Crypto. Let me tell you about Copy My Crypto. Does it piss you off to watch crypto fly up in price for over a decade and you've still done nothing about it? Yeah, it makes sense. Crypto is complicated and really boring. But here's the good news. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or to make money like so many have. The copymycrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McMahon personally owns, which means you just copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. You just simply copy along. So let me tell you about James, okay? He runs Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has like 100,000 followers on it, like subscribers. It's unbelievable. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos. Had you put in $100 in each one, it went on to be worth over $123,000. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick of the year, the one he singled out, called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said, okay? That one call alone retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go on YouTube and verify this yourself. So if you'd like to join the over 3,000 members who copy James, then pause what you're doing and head right over to copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's TFH. You'll not only find proof of everything I've said, but our viewers get full access for just $1. Okay? Yes, you've missed out on Bitcoin. That's fine. You can even get a little piece, but don't even worry about that. But there's over 2 million other cryptos. Do you really think you've missed out on all of them? Guys, don't waste any more time, okay? Go to the site and read it for yourself. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/tinfoil hat. It's ended money worries for so many. It just may do the same for you. And we thank him for sponsoring the show. Guys, you know what I like to talk about? Boners. And there's no more powerful boners than our good friends at Blue Chew and their new super duper ED medication. That's right, Blue Chew Gold. That's right, dude. Scientists working hard in the lab to bring the most powerful ED medication of all time. We're talking like things that get rock hard. We're talking Godzilla dicks here, okay? Big, angry, full of veins. She's going to have to take the Waze app to find your nuts. That's how powerful it's going to be. You want it, dude? Are you tired of tiny dicks? Get Blue Chew Gold and just have Godzilla dicks, okay? Angry thing, wreck her shit. That's what we're talking about. Make her know who's the man of the house. That's right. That's right. Blue Chew Gold wants you to be the man, okay? Tired of it. Tired of people guessing how manly you are. Tired of hearing the word cuck? Yeah, that's right. Blue Chew Gold says, set that cuck chair on fire and just drop dick on her ass like a grown ass man. So here's what we need you to do, okay? Does anyone know what I'm talking about here?
We all know what you're talking about.
Take back that ass. That's what we're going to do, okay? Don't let your mind get in the way of a good time. Discover options at Blue Chew Gold, okay? And we got a special deal for our listeners. Right now, when you buy guys, this is insanity right here, okay? Right now, when you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get a third for free. Those are free boners, okay? That's unlimited free boners, dude. Just pop one in and you're going to be rock hard. Just walk around the neighborhood. Let your friends know that your lady gets it good, okay? Maybe there's some lonely ladies on your block. Let them know you're a pirate, okay? With a pirate of dick gold down there, okay? That's what you got to do. So this is what we need you to do. You'll get a third month free with the promo code TINFOIL. That's promo code tinfoil. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew Gold and Blue Chew for saving America, okay? We thank you for saving America, and we thank you for sponsoring this podcast.
It's just really how effective you are, right? Like every company essentially is a conspiracy with proprietary information that's trying to make a buck and not let their secrets out, right? Like industry secrets. It's just when it gets to a certain level, I don't know where the quote came from, but if you want to go to like the most obvious end of the spectrum, it's like your mom and your dad planning a surprise party is technically a conspiracy. So then it's, well, if there's malice involved, and then I just go back to Gray's Law, you know what I mean? Like if a bunch of people got together in secret and something bad happened as the result of that classifies as a conspiracy.
Well, when I first heard of adrenochrome, I thought it was weird because, I mean, you're Catholic. You eat the body of Christ. And it really doesn't do nothing because it's just wine and a little cracker. But even if it doesn't, even if you're drinking the blood of a kid, it's still the ritual. It's still you're doing part of something that's supposed to do something to you. It's supposed to change you.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's funny. There are people who will tell you that it originated with Thompson, but I mean, it's in the Clockwork Orange book. It's called something. It's like shortened. How all the phrases in that book are shortened, but it's in like that. And that was
Adrenochrome?
Yeah,
I can give you the full timeline of who said it first and who defined it and how it got to Fear and Loathing and everything.
Okay.
So,
I hate to do this real quick. Just hold that, pin that. People at home, lab talks. I just gotta ask you something. I have a 2-part question to you. Do you believe that Satanism exists?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So my next question is, because there's people like Michael Tracy that are just like, oh, Satanic Panic. It was all this fake shit to scare Christians. But when you really dig deeper, which I don't want to hate Michael Tracy. He's just annoying. But, when you dig deeper, you find out that children's school had tunnels below it. And then, the guys from the West Memphis 3, the kid we've had so many like independent journalists and private investigators come on and be like, that guy knew shit when he was interrogated that only the killer would know. So when people go Satanic Panic wasn't real, what are your thoughts? And I just want to say it kind of goes back to McCarthyism, where everyone's like, oh, he's just calling everybody a communist. And then you realize that like Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, used to go to communist meetings in Cuba. I think he was right. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm a little biased because I've been writing a little like Chick Tract style pamphlets that I make, and I've got one that I've been working on about the Satanic Panic that talks about this exact concept. And I guess to just over summarize it, I think that the Satanic Panic was about poor people doing magic, and that rich people have always been allowed to do magic, especially on like the West Coast. Like for example, there was a guy, Beverly Paschal, that was like the OG in American sex magic. And as long as you hang out with, rich people, if you hang out with Anton LaVey and celebrities, and you kind of get a pass. Meanwhile, if you're doing it and you're a poor person, then it becomes like a horrible crime. So it's weird how like the delineation between those two. If you look at all like the serial killers that are claimed to be, Satanist, most of them were also just poor. It's just poor magic versus rich magic.
Very interesting, because you could say that about pedophilia too.
Yeah.
It's like
100%,
the elites get away with it, and then you have these pedo hunters, and I think they're doing great jobs. I've had my issues with them. I've said before, I think they're just getting a lot of autistic people, like severe autistic people that really have no social skills. Not dismissing what they're doing, and not saying you have to deal with that, but it seems to be grabbing a lot of them versus the Jeffrey Epstein people, which are actively doing it on a very large scale, and nothing's happening to them. So we're arresting all the poor pedos and leaving all the rich pedos to
even if you look into the different claims of Satanic Panic, the ones that debunk it. I think I've read most of the major like mainstream books that debunk and summarize Satanic Panic, and they all kind of agree that individually there were pockets of satanic sacrifice and satanic murders and rituals that were being discovered. The main crux that they try and disprove or debunk Satanic Panic is that the crimes weren't coordinated on high enough levels. Like there wasn't interstate Satanist groups that were planning to do things together. It was always localized to like a bunch of people in a town, or like 3 kids that went to the same school or that were in a band.
Okay.
And it's such a flaky strain to say like, well, and then therefore the Satanic Panic didn't exist, and don't ask about the finders, and don't ask about the Process Church or connections to like Scientology.
Well, and that goes back to your rich people, poor people thing. Like, it wasn't it was a network of rich people. It was just a bunch of poor people doing something. So it didn't exist. Very interesting. All right. So sorry about that, guys. I know we want to get into this. So you were going to do the history of Adrenochrome.
So most people, I think even myself, I was introduced to Adrenochrome through probably the Fear and Loathing movie. I didn't read the book until much later. So, and even there, it's described where Johnny Depp is saying, as Hunter S. Thompson, he's saying that Adrenochrome is the strongest drugs he's ever done, after he just did an entire suitcase of every drug essentially known to man, right? So the fact that he holds this little vial up and he says, this is the most powerful thing that I've ever come across, it really establishes itself as part of lore. Like it forms a mythology around that exact moment. And it's even more detailed in the book. They go more into detail about how you can only get it from Satanists, and it has to come from a fresh body, and so on and so on. So that's where most people get introduced to it. But like you mentioned also, I think Johnny mentioned that it comes up in Stanley Kubrick as Adrenochrome. It also comes up way earlier. The very first place is probably going to be 1954. And Aldous Huxley in Doors of Perception, he mentions Adrenochrome right alongside mescaline. He's listing off all of these different psychedelics. And the reason that he knows about it is because he got his first dose of mescaline from, I believe it was Humphrey Osmond. And Osmond, while he was given a mescaline, and as he's chilling with him, he's telling about all these other things that they've been discovering. And Humphrey Osmond happened to be one of the pioneers in adrenochrome research specifically, that started around the 1930s through the early 1950s. It was Humphrey Osmond, it was John Smithies, and it was a guy named Albert Hoffer. And those were the 3 main names. That is the trifecta of adrenochrome research. So when everyone wants to consider, like, is it psychedelic? Is it real? Did the military have anything to do with it? Was it Freemason funded? all those answers are yes, and you can prove all of them through the work of those three guys that were publishing everything publicly up until MK Ultra took over, and then all adrenochrome research essentially goes underground.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. Because they don't want the masses to know about it.
Since the 50s. They let us know in the 50s. How long have they had it for? Is the other thing is how long has it been a secret in between those bloodlines?
So definitively, 1934 is where you can pinpoint it, and this is probably where I'm doing research. And for the most part, I think I'm rational. I think I'm overly skeptical, if anything. And I'm just thinking, all the claims of course you're going to claim Freemasons are involved, and of course you're going to claim the Rockefellers are involved, and you're like, those are the heavy hitters, right? You're just going to get those buzzwords in any good conspiracy theory. And as I'm doing this research, I come across this 1934 report from this funded by the Scottish Rite, Northern Jurisdiction, 33rd degree Supreme Council, and that name keeps coming up at the bottom of every single scientific paper I'm reading in the 1930s. And it was just the weirdest thing because, I am a Scottish Rite Freemason, so I'm not necessarily, when I see that, thinking, of course, like Satan's behind this somewhere. But it was interesting because I've heard this theory that the Masons are behind adrenochrome, and here I've got actual paperwork showing that is the truth.
How does
in the
that
1930s.
make you feel?
Well, the reason that the Freemason, this is the official reason, is that a guy named Melvin Johnson, who was the head of the Supreme Council in the 1930s, they've got all this money they've been collecting from people, and he comes up with this question of, what can we do with all this money that would be the greatest good? And that in that time in 1930s, 25% of every hospital bed in North America were people that had something called dementia praecox. And dementia praecox is like this huge umbrella that would include dementia, Alzheimer's, schizophrenia, any sort of mental disorder that was affecting rich people. This theme's going to come up again. But essentially, the on the books reason why they funded this adrenochrome research was that they were hoping to find a cure for schizophrenia, and in doing so they went and they surveyed, like, well, how come this hasn't been accomplished yet? And they're like, well, this is going to take 30-40 years worth of research and who knows how much funding. And that was the exact moment that Melvin Johnson, on behalf of the Scottish Rite Council, decides this is where all the money's going to be going for the next decade or so, until ... This basically gets taken over by the military and MK Ultra in the 1950s, once there's some promise shown that adrenochrome is a legitimate psychedelic.
Whoa.
So how do I feel about it? I don't agree with things that Freemasons do across the board at all. The way that I see Freemasonry in my mind is like, if you're obsessed with chess, then as an adult, you maybe go out and join like a chess club, right? And it doesn't mean that you co-sign with every chess player that ever joins a chess club. And I kind of see it the same way. I've got like a library card that gets me access to books that you can't get on Amazon, you can't find online because they're locked away under hidden key. And it's sort of like a chess club for people that are interested in sort of just occult, esoteric topics. And from pre-internet age.
So how long have you been a Freemason?
Almost 20 years, I think.
And how long did it take you to get to level 32 or 33?
5 years, I think, because it took 2 or 3 years to get to Master Mason, then it took another 2 years to get to 32nd. Because you're not climbing a ladder upwards. It's like the 1, 2, and 3 is a ladder upwards, and then once you get to the 3rd degree, everything else from the 4th to the 32nd in the Scottish Rite, it's very much like collecting merit badges in the Cub Scouts. It doesn't mean that you're a higher rank because you've got a whole bunch of extra, like, how to tie 20 knots. It just means that you had a lot of extra time to go and like tie those 20 knots and get the badges.
Is it like jujitsu where you got to do it all the time to be great at, excuse me?
No, I don't think so. It's more like having to get a driver's license. You go in, unless you screw up and you lose it, like you go and take that driver's test once when you're 16 or 17, and you got it until they take it away from you when you're like 80. It's sort of similar to that.
Interesting. So let's get back to adrenochrome. When we discuss it's a psychedelic. What does it do?
So this is the most contentious part when you get away from the satanic aspect. And this is because the original pioneers, which were Hoffer, Smithies, and Osmond, they all claimed originally that this was akin to mescaline. And they even mentioned that they tried it on themselves. They tested it on fish, pigeons, monkeys, like spiders. I don't know if you've ever seen that famous sequence of images where it shows an orb weaver spider, and it's like, here's the orb weaver spider on cocaine, and here's the web on LSD, and they're all like mutated the way that they've spun their webs. Well, one of those images in that famous sequence, one of those is adrenochrome. It was part of all of that different research. So like this has been incredibly proven over the time, and it's kind of been along with all of the different psychedelic research. Now, when Smithies and Osmond and Hoffer, they had some firsthand accounts where they tested it on themselves, their friends, and their wives. And they all kind of like wrote down on a little grid of, am I having auditory hallucination and, visual? And based on that, it was kind of deemed as a milder form of mescaline. So here we've got the pioneers writing down their objective or subjective firsthand experiences, but then you also have a plethora of examples in World War I. The expired epinephrine injections, they would start to turn pink, and whenever they would turn pink, it was like, okay, that one's expired. Go grab a clear one. And once you run out of clear ones, well, now you got to take the pink one. If you need a shot of epinephrine. So anyone that was taking these pink adrenaline shots started to report all sorts of extreme hallucination, auditory, visual, the whole works. And as these original researchers, the 30s through the early 50s, they start asking around, somebody connects this. They're like, oh, the thing that you guys keep describing, this adrenochrome thing, it sounds a whole lot like what people are calling pink adrenaline. And that was when they made this connection of, okay, this is a psychedelic. And this is also right around the time when MK Ultra program starts, and a lot of this paperwork and the documentation that actually link it to being a psychedelic, now all of a sudden it's no longer publicly funded, and there's no longer any public results being distributed.
Hey, can you move your mic stand back just a little bit, because you're getting a shadow on you, and I've enjoyed it, but it looks like film noir, and it was cool for a while. I just didn't want you to cover your face the whole time. That's super interesting. Pink.
You're just trying to make sure I'm not AI. I can do this.
Yeah. It was called Pink what?
Pink adrenaline. And this is where the word adrenochrome comes from, is that it means that the chrome means color, and adreno means from the adrenal. So it literally breaks down to color of the adrenal gland. And the reason why is because in the early 1930s, there was you're going to see rabbits come up very often in like the mythology, but coincidentally, the original finding of adrenochrome was someone was severing the arteries of a rabbit, and they noticed that when adrenaline came out, it was clear, but as soon as it hit the air, it began to turn pink and then red and then dark purple and then eventually kind of like a blackish color. So that process of adrenaline hitting the air, oxidizing and changing color, that's why they named it adrenochrome. And so adrenochrome is that byproduct of pure adrenaline starts to decompose. And that's what happens if you have an old EpiPen that's supposed to be clear, because adrenaline is clear. Over time, it oxidizes and it breaks down, and that's what makes it turn pink, and that's why they call it pink adrenaline.
It's so interesting you say that, because in beef and cattle, there's this thing called dark cutting, and it's when the animal's been stressed at the moment of slaughter or right before slaughter, and you can see it. You'll see it in the supermarket. If you see meat that's got a really dark red color to it, it's because the animal was stressed, and people say that's a less desirable characteristic.
Oh, that's really interesting. But
it's called dark cutting.
But would this be the opposite of that?
Maybe
in a weird way, where the whole mythology is that they want them full of anxiety at the time,
scared or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Well,
think
the premise when it comes to adrenochrome is that if adrenaline is caused by fear, right? It's fight or flight. Then if I can cause you to be in fear, then I can cause your body to produce adrenaline more often, and by proxy, that would create more adrenochrome. But there's in my tinfoil hat off for a second. There is no research that I've found that has any correlation or any tests or any research that shows the amount of fear has any impact on the potency of adrenochromes. Meaning that if you just went out and got a whole bunch of adrenal glands from cows and baked them down into the precursor and just turned that into adrenochrome, it would be chemically completely congruent with if you had like a child that you were torturing and they were screaming and you extract their adrenaline and turn that into adrenochrome. It is a chemical compound that has no difference but one between the other. So then the only thing that I've heard that was a good idea is that sometimes people talk about they get real deep into weed and they're all about like the terpenes, and there's this thing called like an entourage effect, that it's not just THC and CBD and CBG and all the different acronyms, but it's also the ratio of limonene and all these different terpenes, and that all of that combined is really what makes the end experience. So that's a potential theory that I've heard that's really hard to disprove, that maybe it's not just the chemically isolated compound of adrenochrome. Maybe there's like an entourage effect of other byproducts that just have not been discovered or researched yet. So that, I mean, the door is open to that, but chemically, I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference between adrenochrome extracted from a tortured person or one that just came out of a cow that was just on the line.
I know like epi is synthetic now. Do they have synthetic adrenochrome? Or
100%. Yeah, the original source would have been cows and pigs just because there was already a pipeline for having those byproducts. But now you can synthesize all this from essentially petroleum, which in my mind is even crazier. So now you can actually make adrenochrome from oil. So conspiracy theories, I think, should be able to spawn more out of that even.
Oh, man.
No wonder they want to run.
Yeah. That's crazy. We need more adrenochrome, dude.
Jeez.
Not enough kids. They got to start drilling for the dinosaur blood, essentially.
Is there anything to it starts to make you younger?
So yes, man, this is one of those things that you hear rumors about, and it's in movies and TV, and I just, kind of like skim over that. Like, okay, that's interesting, but I can watch Bram Stoker's Dracula without believing Dracula exists and still enjoy it. But here's where it gets crazy. So the one of the original researchers, Abram Hoffer, which, by the way, quick tangent, if you don't know Abram Hoffer, he's the guy that put fortified vitamins in all your cereal. So when you buy Cheerios or Kellogg's and it says fortified and it's got like added iron or whatever and added, vitamin B, he's the guy that did that. So even if you don't know him from adrenochrome, I guarantee you he's affected your life if you've ever had a bowl of cereal.
And that's a good thing what he did.
It was a good thing what he did. And here's part of the simplified story was that he had a family come to him and their son was having these fits of schizophrenia. He's basically just like losing touch with reality, and they narrow it down to every time he had an apple, and no one considered like an apple would do it, and it was something to do with the folic acid in the apple was causing a chemical imbalance, which would then create the schizophrenic state. And by adding niacin, which I think was vitamin B6, but by adding niacin to this kid's diet, it solved that issue. And he was like, oh, well, this is happening to poor people. So if we can just fortify all the cereals, all the shelf-stable grains and cheap food for poor people that can't afford, fresh eggs and vegetables, then that'll prevent them from developing all these other issues.
Oh, that's
so
a
I think it's
good
called
thing,
orthomolecular medicine or something.
And then he went on to discover adrenochrome.
Then he goes on to discover adrenochrome and test it on himself and on his wife and on his friends, yes.
His wife must have loved that.
She was trying to be young.
So you're saying this is they use this involving MK Ultra?
Well, let me get to the claim of the eternal youth thing.
Okay.
Because this is where Abram Hoffer, when he first releases his main report, which he presents to the Scottish Rite, by the way, this was in like 1954, I believe. And when he releases this report, it's called the schizophrenia hypothesis of adrenochrome, and then it's later renamed to the adrenochrome hypothesis.
Okay, yeah, they're like, let's get rid of schizophrenia.
So 40 years goes by, and it's highly contested. It's not necessarily received by all of mainstream science, but his main contention was that every single person that tries to disprove it, they didn't actually synthesize adrenochrome. They didn't actually test it. They didn't actually do any experiments. They just said, nah, that doesn't sound right, and then wrote like a rebuttal. So he fights this for like 40 years, again, despite the MK Ultra program using adrenochrome in their experiments. So in 1994, he basically releases like a final summary of his life's work on adrenochrome. And in this, it was called the Adrenochrome Hypothesis Revisited. It was 93 or 94, the Journal of Orthomolecular Medicine. And he mentions that there is a chance that adrenochrome, or ergo schizophrenia by proxy, that having schizophrenia, whether induced by a chemical like adrenochrome or otherwise, can lengthen your lifetime, that it can make you more creative, have a more youthful appearance. You can be, I'm not making medical claims, by the way, this is citing his research, that you are more resistant to chronic cases of cancer, like malignant cancers, lung cancer. He did a big study on people that smoked and the amount that got lung cancer versus the ones that didn't, versus if they had schizophrenia in their family line versus not having schizophrenia. Because ultimately, his adrenochrome hypothesis was that some people get worked up more than other people. I'm sure you probably know this by personal experience, but that some people have adrenaline running from their body constantly, and that if you've got adrenaline running more often than other people, your heart needs to keep up with decomposing that adrenaline and processing it through your system. So a lot of people that have schizophrenia, they're getting bursts of adrenaline constantly because they're constantly going to fight or flight, which also means they have a higher level of adrenochrome in their bloodstream at all times. So that was the original theories that were coming out of the 1930s, was that the adrenochrome in the bloodstream, maybe the adrenochrome is causing the schizophrenia. That's the part that I think largely gets disproven over the next like 5 decades, is that it's not the adrenochrome that's causing the schizophrenia, but it's an after effect. It's a indicator that if you have an elevated amount of adrenochrome in your system, then there's a good chance that you're either going through schizophrenia or that you had some sort of an episode. And here's where the eternal youth thing comes in, is that what Hofer is saying is that if you have a family line that constantly has shown dementia and it's constantly shown schizophrenia and it skips you, like it's a recessive gene, then you actually have a high benefit over people that don't have dementia in their family line, because you will be more resistant to cancer. He even cites the bubonic plague, and he mentions that a large majority of people that survived the bubonic plague did so because they had schizophrenia in their family line. So this idea that it can extend your life or even make you, be able to live as an immortal, those might be hyperbolic versions of actual research that he was doing for 4 to 5 decades that truly said that adrenochrome can extend your life and it can make you more youthful in appearance, and it can even make you more creative.
Interesting. It's interesting, dude. Schizophrenia is such a really complex thing. And again, I'm not insulting anyone's religion here, but part of me sometimes wonders how much of our organized religion is based off of someone's schizophrenia. Just at the time,
it can be induced. Like I think that there's enough evidence now that there's evidence that some people that have schizophrenia, it was induced through a traumatic experience that they went through. That it doesn't necessarily have to be a chemical imbalance or something that was in your DNA. That an external force can cause someone to have the exact same result as if it were passed down, if it's even passed down like that.
Oh, dude, remember the dancing plague? Do you guys know that story of the dancing plague?
People died dancing.
Where those people, there was like outbreaks of this in Europe where people thought that there was this, because they all believed it, they thought that there was this brain disease that was, they thought ascribed like spirituality to it, but that made people start dance, and then people would just dance themselves until they dropped, because they, thought they were like possessed or something, and it was collective, like it wasn't even schizo people, it was just like collective mania.
Yeah, sounds like COVID to me. Like everybody just started taking COVID because
it happened a few times, dude.
Yeah, and I don't know if it has to do with it, but like weed can trigger schizos now. They're telling you like you're like 20, 25 years
all
old.
The time, dude.
Yeah.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our good friends at Lucy. That's right, premium 100% tobacco-free nicotine pouches made for true pouch connoisseurs. Lucy pouches and Lucy breakers deliver long-lasting flavor for a seriously satisfying pouch experience. Premium 100% tobacco-free nicotine pouches made for true pouch connoisseurs. Lucy pouches and Lucy breakers deliver long-lasting flavor for a seriously satisfying pouch experience. Dude, Dana got me some mango. Hello. Ooh. I love that mango. Anything. Hey now, mango. Get my mouth. Light it up. I really love the party in my mouth when I take a mango from Lucy. Lucy is.
Are you a 4 or 8?
Dude, give me what you got.
He'll take as much as you can.
Okay? Give me as much as you got, dude. Okay? I want it all. I'll take all the Lucy's. Lucy pouches go up to 12 milligrams. That's your answer right there. Okay? Milligram strength and have a unique shape that feels great. Lucy breakers are nicotine pouches with extra surprise. I love it. Each pouch holds a hydrating capsule that you crack with your teeth for an instant burst of long-lasting flavor. Every other pouch is the same. Lucy breakers are the only ones doing it differently to give you that longest lasting flavor in pouches, okay? Lucy is now available in stores nationwide. You can find a retailer near you at lucy.co/stores or get Lucy delivered to you ASAP on apps like DoorDash or GoPuff. Lucy's is the only pouch that delivers long-lasting, on-demand flavor. Get 20% off your first order when you buy online at lucy.co/tinfoilhat with promo code tinfoilhat. And if you don't want to wait, check out their store locator to find Lucy near you and grab it today, okay? Here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only available for adults of legal age. Every customer is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. And we thank them for sponsoring our show.
Yeah, a woman began dancing in the street. Within days, dozens or hundreds joined her. Authorities actually hired musicians, hoping that they could like dance it out. And there was some people thought maybe it was like ergot poisoning, like they, said happened in Salem possibly. But it's more likely ascribed to mass psychogenic illness. It's the most accepted.
Sounds like the first version of influencers to me, dude.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's a flash mob.
Yeah.
So they take this adrenochrome and they use it on MK Ultra patients to what? Traumatize them?
So that part is not documented. The part that's documented objectively is that there was a CIA video that was released. You can find it on archive.org from 1955, and it's called Experimental Compound MER-17, which later, after it gets declassified, is called Frenquil. That was like the commercial name for it. But in that, they specifically cite that they've got an antidote. This MER-17 is an antidote for acute schizophrenia caused by alcoholic hallucinations, mescaline, cannabis, and adrenochrome. They say that on camera. You can go and see that. It is CIA documentation. So here you clearly see that they are saying they did an experiment where somebody was under the influence of adrenochrome and then was given MER-17 as an antidote, which basically neutralize that. And they have a video of someone, but that person, I believe they give LSD to, not adrenochrome, because again, adrenochrome was essentially a much milder version of mescaline. A name that doesn't come up ever with adrenochrome is that adrenochrome itself can break down into another byproduct called adrenolutin, and Hoffer describes adrenolutin as not being worthy of more investigation because it was so potent that the effects lasted for up to 2 weeks. So that when he was testing it on people, he couldn't really get a good baseline if someone's going to be tripping or at least feeling the effects of it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's expensive to hold somebody over for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that was described as a greenish gold color as opposed to adrenochrome's pink or red color. And just as a side tangent, there was a celebrity, I can't remember her name. She was like the meth head from Orange is the New Black. But there was this video of her talking about like the gold juice. And everyone's like, oh, they're talking about adrenochrome. But if you want to go down that rabbit hole, she might have been talking about adrenolutin.
And you said it was like mescaline, so they're drinking this? This isn't like injected
They
or
were
snorted?
doing this sublingually. That was how they were taking it. They were just putting it under the tongue and letting it dissolve. And also, this is an important note, is that I believe that this was an aqueous form of adrenochrome. So when we get into the discussion of is it psychedelic or not, and also people like, you can order online, you can go on China right now and order it. Like, well, all of that, if you look at the pictures of it, it's a powder. It's like a little brown reddish powder, which is essentially a shelf-stable version called semi-carbazochrome. It is not the same as aqueous adrenochrome, quote-unquote fresh adrenochrome. So here's where the Hunter S. Thompson of it all, where they're like, you got to get it from a fresh kid or whatever, like it only works if it's fresh. There's something very accurate about adrenochrome does have to be fresh if it's going to be psychoactive, and it can basically decompose at room temperature within like 20 minutes to an hour, and then it's not psychoactive anymore. And this is what Abram Hoffer complained about constantly in his research, was that all these people that were coming out trying to disprove adrenochrome as a psychedelic, he was kind of like paraphrasing him. He was kind of saying like, with all due respect, you guys suck at chemistry and you don't know what the hell you're doing. And that's why you're not tripping out on adrenochrome like we were.
That's crazy.
I mean, not that it's just Disney, but then there's Monsters Inc. where it gives you a little bit of like, is that happening? Are they doing that? Because why are you making a movie about kids getting scared and then you're draining the chemical and then you put the connections together? Like, this just can't be a coincidence.
Well, yeah, everyone said Monsters
Inc.,
about
yeah.
adrenochrome.
That one's, well, because this is the conflation between somehow you have to scare somebody or torture them to generate more adrenaline and then therefore generate more adrenochrome. I mean, it's very inefficient, the same way that the Matrix theory, where they've got us all as these pods and they're using our BTUs as energy. Like, it would take so much more resources to generate those BTUs with a human being than if you had just done it a million other ways. So the only way that some of those theories about torture and harvesting from people, the only way that those would make sense or be true would be for the ritual aspect and have nothing at all to do with the chemical aspect. You can isolate the chemical and not do any ritual and not be a Satanist or into black magic and put it under your tongue and trip out. And it doesn't have to come from in fact, you can generate adrenochrome from any vertebrate on the planet. You can get it from a fish, you can get it from a frog, you can get it from a cow. Anything that has an adrenal gland, you can potentially harvest adrenaline and turn it into adrenochrome, or you can just pump it out of the earth and use petrochemicals.
But my question is, how is it harvested?
It would just be any other chemical precursor. You would get your chemical precursors in big vats, combine those and mix them around, raise the pH, lower the pH, and then at the end of a big Rube Goldberg machine of chemistry, you've got adrenochrome at the other end. So It doesn't require like a living being anymore.
But how do they get it out of a living being?
That they would basically take the adrenal gland itself and be able to just slice it and turn it into a mash. And then in that mash, you can basically extract adrenaline from it. Like, you don't have to wait for the animal to create adrenaline and start pumping it through its system and then harvest it that way. You can just harvest adrenal glands, turn them into paste, and then extract it from the paste.
Wow.
Since you went down the rabbit hole, Frazzledrip, did anything come up that has to do with that?
Well, yeah, it's inseparable. So Pizzagate and Frazzledrip and adrenochrome, they all kind of go hand in hand. But again, by far, adrenochrome was discovered in the 1930s, and it was already being related to schizophrenia. In the 1950s, it was being related to mind control and MK Ultra. So this predates QAnon conspiracy theories and Pizzagate and Frazzledrip by almost a century, right? Just shy by like a decade or two. So the QAnon and the Pizzagate and the Frazzledrip aspect, that's where the psyop starts to come in. And somehow adrenochrome, because of the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and also just because it represents this secular version of blood libel and blood magic and Moloch worship and all of that. You bundle all those together and you get this like free-based form of adrenochrome. Then it gets wrapped up into QAnon. So now, if you mention a objective medical compound that's existed for over 100 years on social media, or you write it into a movie, or you put it in an article, you actually get contacted by the ADL, or you get contacted by all sorts of extremes on all ends of the political aisle, because adrenochrome has this like incredibly charged word to it. So I think that like that's where the Frazzledrip and the Pizzagate and all that comes in, is that it's used to discredit whatever valid aspects of adrenochrome are, whatever valid aspects of, maybe there wasn't a basement in the pizza place, but there was a basement across the street where there was an article written where that's where we keep our tomatoes.
Yes.
And what about all the weird photos of Elefantis and everything? Like, that ends up getting suppressed because, like, you're crazy if you think Hillary Clinton put a little girl's face on her face. So therefore, adrenochrome's not real. There was no basement. Don't look into the Twitter accounts. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, okay. They use a fringe version of it to discredit all the other stuff.
And I don't necessarily think that like the state or who, ADL, they went out and they pinpointed adrenochrome and say, let's add this to the mix. I think adrenochrome was already on its own path to represent child sacrifice and blood magic and blood libel. It already was on that path. So it was so easy to get wrapped up into whatever that next big conspiracy theory was, which ended up being QAnon, Pizzagate, Frazzledrip. So it's not like the ADL is going to delineate and be like, hey, by the way, like you guys are referencing adrenochrome, but it's real and there might be some psychedelic. There's nuance to it, right? The ADL doesn't come out and say, hey, there's some nuance here. They just say, if you use this bad word, you're a bad person.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens to adrenochrome. Maybe it's like a little bit of friendly fire, but it doesn't hurt that it was also a suppressed research chemical during MK Ultra that people never necessarily pinpointed. So the government's not going to be like, oh, by the way, you guys forgot to criticize about this other thing that we disclosed and you didn't notice.
So we see it in a religion involving Moloch and Baal and Satanism, but you're saying that isn't necessarily where it came. It obviously came from this study, but it's been kind of mixed in with that to dismiss it.
Well, because right now, adrenochrome represents the end product. If you were, let's say that you're talking about Baal and Moloch worship and they're sacrificing kids, that's just the 2,000 plus year old version of what we're describing as like a Pizzagate scandal, right? Where they're still sacrificing kids, but instead of just throwing them into like a pizza oven or just like into a fire, and that's the end of it to their God, they're doing that, but they're also extracting some kind of chemical from it, which is then going to let them trip or get euphoria or live longer or look younger. Or maybe they get, one of my favorite theories on this, shout out to Cheney, is that like people that have high levels of schizophrenia, she likes bringing up Britney Spears. Like Britney Spears goes on a world tour. Maybe every stop she makes, like they're just extracting adrenochrome and injecting it, and now they get to write a hit record, or now they get to feel like a pop star for a short amount of time. And this is not a fringe 21st century theory. In fact, right after Clockwork Orange came out, there was another book that directly was a short story by a guy named Terry Southern. He wrote for High Times. He wrote for Easy Rider. In 1967, it was a short story called The Blood of a Wig. And the entire concept was that they were sneaking into schizophrenic hospitals and they were stealing the blood of the schizophrenic patients, and they were shooting schizophrenic blood into their bodies. And when they did that, they were getting to relive the actual lived experience of these patients. He literally says that he injects the blood of an Asian guy and he knows what it's like to be Asian for like 2 hours.
That's crazy. Dude, I heard there's one about Machine Gun Kelly called The Blood of a Wigger. And you just you can just feel what it's like to be a white trash singer.
Now he switched genres again. Now he's doing something
Fred Durst,
with Fred Durst, and now they're like neo metal. It's just pick a lane, dude. Pick a lane. The song isn't that bad though.
It's just like it's a ripoff of Limp Bizkit. Yeah.
That's exactly. And when they heard it, they must have been like, "Dude, you're just doing us, but at least you're paying us to be a part of it."
Is it really called Blood of a Wigger?
No.
Oh,
That was Johnny being punny.
I know. I was hoping that it might have been real.
That would have been the best.
I've been the best.
You know, my Wigger joke I kind of messed up because what's the fat guy that lost all the weight with the face jelly roll? Really isn't a wigger. I thought he was a wigger because I just wanted to get to my wigger joke. but that's okay. What I find very interesting about this is one of my favorite movies as a child was Pinhead, Hellraiser.
Oh yeah.
I used to love it, and there's a very famous scene where they try to bring back Pinhead, and they sacrifice a schizophrenic on you remember that on a
They had to like torture him too, right?
they gave him a thing. He started cutting himself.
Yeah.
And then that's when he kind of gets engulfed into the mattress, which was crazy that was just an actor doing that. You're like, and where did he go from there? Like, what was his other acting roles after he played sacrifice schizophrenic in the movie, dude?
Those movies are crazy.
Those are then they got black cubes and all that stuff.
There's a lot of dark symbolism.
What movie is this?
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. I used to love Hellraiser.
There was like a whole series of them.
I can pinpoint another example of where that motif of torturing somebody to such an extent that you extract some kind of supernatural power from them. And coincidentally, this has also MK Ultra ties. 1959, there was a movie with Vincent Price called The Tingler, and the concept of it was a black and white movie, and the concept of The Tingler was that they were giving these patients so much LSD that they were freaking out and going into just sheer terror, and that if you could generate enough terror, an actual like artificial bug/demon creature would start to grow on your spine and then would eventually pop off, and there would be it looked like a big roly-poly bug, but that this thing was called the Tingler, and it was basically manifesting out of pure fear. So this motif of using psychedelics or torturing people in order to generate a supernatural end product. And this is what makes the Tingler so interesting. It's the first Hollywood movie in existence to acknowledge LSD-25. They don't say it by name, but when Vincent Price opens up this book where he's talking about, hey, here's this story about the Tingler, the spine says LSD-25, completely unattributed from that. But it shows that there was this insider Hollywood knowledge about psychedelics far before the whole entire like psychedelic revolution started to come around. This was people that had, and this was like William S. Burroughs that had this. I believe it was Cary Grant that brought LSD into Hollywood. So there is a definitive pipeline
Cary
that goes
Grant
from science to military to Hollywood.
What? Cary Grant brought LSD to Hollywood?
You wouldn't expect that.
Cary Grant, in his autobiography, 1958, I believe, he basically talks about being on a movie, and his co-actress, she was mentioning, like, he was going through some kind of mental issues, and she suggested a doctor that she knew, I think it was called Dr. Hartman, and she was like, you got to go and see this guy. He'll give you this substance, and it works. It does something that, no one else can do. And this guy had a thing, and this is, again, in the late 50s. For $200, he'd give you a huge dose of LSD, and you would just trip out in his little office. And Cary Grant does this, and he becomes such an advocate, he starts telling all of his other actor friends. So there was like a huge pocket of these Hollywood insiders that were taking LSD before anyone even knew what LSD was.
And that sounds a lot like what Rogan was doing with Trump, right?
Ibogaine, yeah.
And it's just like, take this and it'll fix your
addiction. Your addiction.
Is it addiction or like a mental illness?
Addiction.
Yeah. It like makes you not want that
Ibogaine's
drug
supposed
anymore.
to get you off of like heroin and other drugs.
It's just weird. It's weird that you like use a drug to get away from another drug.
Do you guys, obviously Joe Rogan's my boy, but I found it very weird that he's trying to do something good and everyone's killing him for it. Right? Like on the internet. Oh, look, he's with Trump again. You're like, well, I mean, he has an in with Trump, even if he's been critical of Trump. And he has this thing where which he believes helps people, especially, I guess, veterans who are struggling with drug addiction. And he wants to get it done. Am I wrong for thinking that seems to be a good thing? Am I wrong? I'm going to get killed in the comment section.
And
What's he supposed to wait till AOC becomes president or Jake Paul to try to get that done?
And it's not like he just jumped on this board of getting Ibogaine. What's it called? Ibogaine. Fucking is it Ibogaine? Yeah. It's not like he just jumped on that. If you've heard Rogan talk about, he's been talking about Ibogaine and trying to get this bill passed, and he finally did it. And I get why everyone's tripping because he's sitting next to Trump.
Have you guys read about? But it's supposed to be incredibly intense. Ibogaine.
the Ibogaine, yeah.
Incredible. You know, it's funny. George Harrison has this quote about LSD. Someone asked him about how often you need to take it, and he says, "You only need to take it once." And then they were like, "Well, how many times did you take it?" A lot. You only need it. And the Ibogaine, they apparently it's so intense that it's just like a one-off, and then it's like 80% cure rate.
Well, it's like
of
DMT.
addiction.
It's like DMT.
Like opiate addiction, though. Like even people not having physical withdrawals from opiates after going, which makes no sense scientific. I mean, there's still, it's been difficult to study. That's part of what all this was about. But I mean, it doesn't, because, you know, physical addictions we've thought of as distinct from
Does it help with
psychological
porn addiction?
Let's give it a shot, bro.
Give it a shot.
I should, just to see if I could quit this
You used to
shit.
have to go to TJ, right, to get any of that?
I think Africa is where it's from, right? If I'm not mistaken. Let me see. But yeah, possibly Tijuana. I mean, everything's in Tijuana. Let's see.
I wonder if the elites could get on Ibogaine to like wean themselves off of adrenochrome.
That'd be nice.
Hey, nice.
I would
Yeah.
like to have psychedelic for Politicians Day
It's from Central West Africa.
or a month where they just got to do psychedelics the whole month and see how they come out the other side.
And then, I mean, like he said, what if you do get addicted to adrenochrome? You're out there, you need adrenochrome. Like, I need it.
I hope not. That would really suck. So we get to this thing. It's in popular movies. Like he brought up Monsters Inc. But we also see it in like the Franklin scandal. I know there was pedophilia, but you're saying there was adrenochrome involved with that as well?
Well, in Franklin Cover Up, they don't. John DeCamp doesn't specifically mention adrenochrome, but he does mention harvesting and torturing kids at Bohemian Grove, and that kind of becomes this connective tissue between the Satanic Panic and the claims of the elite rituals and the kidnapping and this adrenochrome aspect. But I don't believe in his book he mentions it by name. But here's one thing that I do want to feed into the conspiracy theory a little bit, especially since you brought up like the Pizzagate aspect. So in 1992, there's an artist, which I believe is the highest paid artist out of the UK in history, named Damien Hirst. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with his work. One of his big things was a series of paintings called Dots, and it was just like a whole bunch of colored dots that were named random stuff. The other big thing that you probably
Unbelievable.
recognize him from, that movie The Cell with Jennifer Lopez, where she walks into this room, like she goes inside the mind of a schizophrenic serial killer, and there's this room with a cow, and as she walks up to the cow, these like glass plates fall out of the ceiling and it slice it while it's live, and then the plates slide across, and you can kind of see like the beating heart and the organs of the cow. Any of you guys remember this movie?
I didn't see it.
No, I've never
Johnny's
seen
seen every movie.
With J-Lo? Yeah, I should
No,
have seen it.
I haven't seen. I'm not familiar with J-Lo's filmography. Unfortunately, it reminds me
Okay,
of
well,
that.
this one's worth watching because it's related to this. But that scene with the cow being dissected, that was based on Damien Hirst's first really big art hit, which was called Mother and Child Divided. And then he had another one with like a shark. The reason I bring this up is that once he gets himself on the map, he makes his first huge sale at Christie's on my birthday in 1992, and it's one of the very first in his Dots series, and that Dots painting was called Adrenochrome. And this is far before, it was 6 years before the movie comes out, and there's really no other references to adrenochrome outside of Clockwork Orange, Blood of a Wig, and the Fear and Loathing book. And now you've got this popular high art society creating an adrenochrome painting, and if you start looking deeper into one of his biggest collectors, it was one of the Podesta brothers. So you have this like weird 1992 connection between the Podestas collecting artwork by the adrenochrome artist Damien Hirst. And this is just like one of these weird rabbit holes where, well, that kind of fits into place in a way that I didn't expect it to. Because then you also see the other things that the Podestas were collecting that had some very dark themes that all happen to fit into that same bucket that adrenochrome would fit in. So if as much as I like to disprove on some of this and be the skeptic, here's one of those things where it's like, this thing feels like a thread worth pulling.
Was he the guy that also came up with the picture that kind of looked like the face on the volleyball from Tom Hanks?
No,
that's Basquiat.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you look at the artwork that Podesta collects, a lot of this ends up being cannibalist related, like a lot of cannibals, a lot of like kids being abused in weird situations. This adrenochrome painting, and another interesting tangent was that he had a artwork piece by Louise Bourgeoisie, who's basically was making this body that's been linked to like the Jeffrey Dahmer victim pose.
Yes.
Well, she also had a very similar themes of cannibalism and women like giving birth and eating the babies and stuff. And just to add another little weird hat on top of that cannibalism theme, her husband ran the wing called the Michael C. Rockefeller wing at the Modern Museum of Art that was named after the guy that got eaten by cannibals that was in the Rockefeller family. The same Rockefellers that were funding the original adrenochrome research alongside the Scottish Rite. So it's
that's like a crazy story.
There's enough conspiracy theory threads to keep you busy for days on this topic.
Where the one Rockefeller went to go hang out with a tribe, and there's pictures of him hanging out, and then he just disappears.
Ooh.
And they were
correct,
just
and they named the wing after him, and then the wife of the guy that runs that wing is Louise Bourgeois, who makes these weird sculptures that then got collected by Tony Podesta that are also is into cannibalism.
So you bring up like kind of like other people from or different names. Is this worldwide? Like China, is Chinese people, the elite from China taking adrenochrome? Did you find anything like that, or just kind of like an American thing?
I've found some news reports, but I think a lot of this is much more modern and not necessarily going back to the 30s and the 50s. But here's an example. There was a 2020 Bulgarian news report where somebody got into a car wreck. His name was Christian Nikolov. And then there was one of the people that died was called Milan Teskov. And they claim on this 2020 Bulgarian news report that they tested his blood, and in the blood they found amphetamine, marijuana, cocaine, and something that turns out to be, quote, a satanic fountain of youth called adrenochrome. And they also said that it was found in cocktails that they referred to as Christian's blood, which is, here's that connection to that old blood libel. So the Bulgarian news report, they're actually making the blood libel connection to adrenochrome in a way that U.S. media doesn't necessarily do unless they're trying to disprove adrenochrome. But here is the Bulgarian news actually adding credibility in their minds to adrenochrome by saying like, oh yeah, it's connected to blood libel.
Jeez. It's such a crazy thing. How much, it's like everything is fake and gay. It's just, they just take something and then they blow it up. And I'm not saying elites aren't doing this to children, but it just seems like it's become, this shadow in the cave. I mean,
and it goes from something that doesn't get mentioned by name outside of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, right? Like, first you get it in the 1960s in some short stories, and then you get it in Clockwork Orange, and then it's in Fear and Loathing. 3 main references in the span of like 3 or 4 decades. And then as soon as the 2000s spin up, now all of a sudden you're getting references. One of the first references in the 2000s is actually an episode of Scrubs. I think it was season 3, episode 14, called My Screw Up. And in the background, there's a book that says adrenochrome. Like there's a medical book that apparently they have. They don't make a reference to it. They don't acknowledge it. But here's the only other direct name of adrenochrome in media since Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And then there's a call where Louis C.K. calls up Donald Rumsfeld and asks him if he's a reptilian, if he drinks adrenochrome.
Yeah, he called in on Opie and Anthony.
That was the other big mention of adrenochrome by name. And then the Dr. Sleep movie is essentially a step up from Monsters, Inc., where they're torturing kids and sucking some kind of like a steam, they call it, directly out of them. Then it's on Dr. Phil in 2016. There's a movie named Adrenochrome in 2017. And then as soon as the 2020s hit, when that Bulgarian news report, every single year it starts to ramp up to the point where now every single seasons of The Boys, for example, is referencing adrenochrome by name because they're trying to tie this Starlight backstory with like a QAnon Pizzagate angle. But it just goes to show that originally you had adrenochrome mentioned once every 3 decades, then once every decade, to now it's being mentioned in all sorts. There's a show called The Slayers, the Penavariate with Michael Myers. He was mentioning that. The Watcher was another show that mentions adrenochrome by name. The Daily Show's done it. There was a movie called Dash Cam where it's all about harvesting adrenochrome. So like now it's pervasive in popular media, and it's only going to get more and more announced. But the thing is, what's happening is that it's muddying the waters, because now like 99% of adrenochrome references are coming from TV shows and movies, and no one is citing these reports from the 30s through the 50s.
That's done on purpose. It's like when Kanye goes on Joe Rogan and talks about how they made the Black Panther movie so people couldn't see Black Panther. Do you see them do that all the time? They take something big and they suppress it. I forgot what the other thing they did that with.
Frozen. So when you look up Frozen, you don't look
Frozen
at Walt
was
Disney.
one of them. There's also another one where they just buried it, dude. Just buried it, so you couldn't find it.
Cultural camouflage, almost. Right?
Yeah,
It's like-
cultural camouflage. That's a
mixes
great
it
way
up.
to put it, dude. That's a great way to put it. Is there, what else do we got? And what's Black Corona?
So here's one of the things that you can find in current medical research as just an interesting note, because when you go down some of these conspiracy rabbit holes, it's like, oh, if you've got a black eye or if you wear red shoes, like all of these are indicators of people using adrenochrome. Well, it turns out that some people use adrenaline eye drops for a various number of reasons, but they put liquid adrenaline directly into their eyes.
Oh my
And what
God.
happens, or a adrenochrome semicarbazone is also used as like a blood coagulant. When you put it in your eye, for some people, after a while, it'll all start to decompose, and after it turns pink and then red and then purple, it forms these black deposits that they literally have to go and like scrape off.
Oh my God.
The end of your eye, because what happens is that the adrenochrome decomposes into like this black melanin-like pigment. I don't believe it's actual melanin, but it turns into like a black pigment that has to get scraped off. So here's just another coincidence where people try and link black eye symbolism to adrenochrome. Here's a scientific link that might not be like an apple to apple here, but it's a black eye syndrome. Another one too that I've never seen brought up anywhere. In 1963, there was a study done where they were putting adrenochrome directly on neurons, and it was causing brain tissue to, and I'm using a quote from the scientific report, explode. They would put adrenochrome from brain tissue. They would start to contort, convulse, and then the neurons would explode from adrenochrome. So that sounds even cooler than some of the claims that people are making, that you could like spray adrenochrome on someone's brain and their brain would explode.
Jeez, I'm surprised that's not a weapon.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But it's also like, how do
Put it in a squirt gun, Just,
how do people discover this? Like, I know it goes back to the 30s, but like,
oh, dude, people in medicine have no scruples. They test, especially before a recent time. I mean, even now, but in the past, like people in medicine were just,
Well, this is an easy question to answer. It doesn't even take that long. So they found it because they were, again, the Scottish Rite was trying to find a cure for dementia, schizophrenia. So they started analyzing the blood of schizophrenic patients, and that's when they determined that schizophrenic patients have a higher level of adrenochrome than non-schizophrenic. That's when it got on the radar. And just again, to the harp on the like poor people versus rich people dynamic of all this, the whole reason that the Scottish Rite or anyone else cared about dementia praecox is because praecox essentially means like early onset dementia. If grandpa gets dementia when he's like 70 or 80, it's kind of like, yeah, that's what happens to old people. They get a certain age and they start to lose their mind. There's no real cure for it. But if it happens to the 20-year-old that you're going to leave your empire to, and your 20-year-old starts acting like a 70-year-old with dementia, now you're concerned because what's my legacy going to be? Who am I going to pass all my wealth and my land and my companies to if my 20-year-old or my 30 or my 40-year-old is having dementia? So now it was like, we can't necessarily solve this, and it's affecting rich people. You could be a king. You could have all the money in the world, and if your progeny starts to develop signs of schizophrenia, or as they call it, dementia praecox, now like your legacy is at risk. And that is the main reason that I think it got funding at all. It was like rich people's progeny and their legacies are going to die if we can't find a solution for this. And that's where they just got this enormous amounts of money to do the research. And then they discover the connection of schizophrenia and adrenochrome. And everything flows out of that.
Crazy. I'm going to ask you something as we wrap it up here that's kind of off topic. Dave Wilcox, word is he ended his life. What are your thoughts on that? Because it kind of fits into this whole thing that's going on with aliens and space and new technology and plasma. What are your...
I'm super biased on this. I mean, off the bat, I'm not necessarily subscribed to everything that David Wilcock ever put out, but I've been watching him for at least 20 years. Like I've can dig up old documentaries where he was talking about Illuminati and aliens and going back. I love the Above Majestic. Again, I'm not going to say I'm going to recommend it to everyone. When it comes to like, did he do it? Was he pushed to do it? Was it like cover up? I'm incredibly biased on this too. I mean, just 3 days ago on the anniversary of Oklahoma City, I did a 3-hour interview with the wife of Terrence Yeakey, who was the first responder, who also was claimed to have killed himself, but it was like under the most suspicious circumstances. So if like you do not have to twist my arm to get me to open up to the idea of something that was claimed to be but was actually someone being taken out because they weren't saying the right thing. But I don't really know what to think about Wilcock because I didn't necessarily believe what he said anyways. So I don't know if I saw the harm in letting him continue to say whatever he wanted to say.
Do you think there's anything to all these scientists disappearing?
100%. Do you remember in the late 90s, early 2000s when the anthrax scares were getting real big?
Yes.
Yep.
It was the most dangerous time in history to be a microbiologist, that you were going to drive off the edge of a cliff on accident, that you were going to fall asleep and get carbon monoxide poisoning, your Cessna was going to go down. Like, we've seen this pattern constantly where like all of the specialists in a niche field just collectively, it's like they all got the urge to dance, except they're all getting the urge to drive off cliffs and shoot themselves.
And it's do you believe, if you had to guess, why they're all turning up missing or dead? What do you think?
I just think that it's easier to control a narrative if there's no voices of dissent and everyone's a sycophant to it. And also, again, tinfoil hat firmly back on my head here, I do believe that something like the V2K, the voice to skull technology, exists, and that maybe targeted harassment, targeted individuals, I think there's a version of that could be real. And if you got the right person on the right day, that you're just hitting them with horrible messages. I mean, to cite MK Ultra research, that's a psychic driving that was proven to have very significant impacts, that Dr. Ewan Cameron would just play negative or positive messages to people over and over again. If you can do that from a distance, which you definitely can, because that technology's been around for at least 4 or 5 decades, then if you were to just beam a negative thought into someone's head constantly, again, I'm not going to say that I think that happened in any specific situation, but I think the technology exists, the resources exist, and the willpower for someone to do that exists. So like Gray's Law is kind of like if all of the ingredients, like if the cops were to pull you over, right, and they didn't necessarily catch you breaking into a house, but you got like a cat burglar mask and you got like bolt cutters and like you have all of the ingredients to do that crime, like they're bringing your ass to jail. So like I kind of feel that if that's the barrier for whether or not someone's up to something, then you can kind of amalgamate from that.
I think it's like a scare tactic. You want to come out and be a whistleblower? You'll be the 12th missing scientist. Keep talking.
12 though, dude?
They're at 11, right, Johnny? Isn't it 11?
No, they're not even. I mean, some of them aren't even. They're just doing research. I mean, admitted to doing
It's
research.
just so crazy to go, yeah, they're killing them off because of this, and this. You're like, but what is that? What? Why are they doing that? I mean, what are they trying to hide?
Well, I mean, I have a pretty concrete opinion about it. I think, I mean, if you look at it, they're all engaged in either talking about, or I mean, a picture starting to come together that they have had these craft, and in order to make them not subject to FOIA and to get them in the hands of the people with real power, they've given them to private companies. That's what one of the senators who talks about this regularly said the other day, is that he thinks that they're in the hands of private companies now. And they control the research on this and how it's being meted out, publicly, and then how it's being used. And I think there's, if you want to threaten that, their monopoly on that tech, then you do it at your own peril.
Also, it's like how, you pay all this money to have research and develop technology, and then they develop something and maybe they don't want that developed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Free
that's exactly what I'm
energy,
saying.
all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Like
dude.
those
The
water
car that
cars?
runs on water.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. How many people died? How many people have died on those water
Yeah,
cars?
do not invent a car that runs on water.
Or do it and don't tell anybody. Just keep it at your house. You fill your own car up before you go anywhere. You don't got to tell everybody. Tell your homie. Tell me and Sam. We'll keep it quiet.
Yeah.
Gas is $7 for now.
Contact XG. He would love to know about your water car.
Me and Sam would somehow tell everybody. Sam will tell it on a podcast
I run my mouth.
on the premium.
No, I keep secrets, dude. Paranoid, great show. One more time, tell them where they can find you.
Go to paranoidamerican.com. I've been publishing original comic books and little chick tract style pamphlets and graphic novels and anything else that you can imagine that is conspiracy theory related. I've got it there. Chaos Twins. We even got the Chosen One comic that's got Sam on the. I think I've got like 30 of these left. So these will
love
be
it.
collector's items.
How is Juan?
Juan's doing great. He got big into flat Earth now. He's like a big flat earther.
Okay. Is he still podcasting?
No, he's creating compounds because of like this flat Earth thing going on. I mean, I
What do you
believe he'll
mean
pop into
creating
comment
compounds?
sections once in a while, but the dude is making compounds.
What do you mean by compounds? Chemical or
Like
buildings?
no, like housing compounds, like flattening Earth and preparing for I don't know what's to come.
All right, I want to hear about it. I want to buy a compound so bad because right now the only people with compounds are autistic billionaires.
Yeah, can you imagine if the people who repopulated Earth were just the people who could have underground bunkers right
Part
now?
of me thinks that's what aliens are. Just the autistic ones survived. And
Well, wait, you don't have you that? I mean, I have this for BS, but did you that one scientist, that girl that got off? That's her whole. I mean, there are other people saying this too, but there's this. She thinks that the ET are these two. It's not just her. They're two versions of humanity from alternate futures, possible like 47,000 years in the future and like 50,000 years in the future.
and they're all autistic.
Well, I mean, they would be if they were descended from Elon Musk.
Yeah, 100
Because she says they survived the cataclysm and they're coming back now to have some effect on.
Or warn
Trying to
us.
get some
They're
hot
like
chicks.
they're like two alternate futures. One where there's like China takes over, and one where there's like nuclear apocalypse or something, and the whole world.
Oh, which
is-
one do we want?
Well, I mean, the nuclear
know.
apocalypse is the world repopulated by Elon. So you decide.
And then
So it's either autistic Asians or autistic Elons?
yeah.
is that the one? Is that she the one that went missing in the woods on a hike?
No.
No, she's the one that
She's
offed
in a
herself.
bunch of
They said she offed
podcasts.
herself. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's either autistic Chinese or autistic Elon Musk. That's the future.
That's according to that theory, as I understand it. Yeah, I haven't watched all of it. It's a very long.
Okay.
So it's
Complex.
a autistic boot stomping on the human face forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These my kid's autistic. What if she becomes the leader?
She might be the leader.
I'm getting her ready.
I mean, it's either
We're getting
that,
ninja ready.
or it's the people that from Mars who repopulate. That Elon sends to Mars, the first freaks that are
yeah?
willing to go fly to Mars and say goodbye to
You see,
family.
they want to send a hot chick to Mars. You're like, can we send a fatty?
Yeah, are you trying to start the first war on Mars? Will
Let
be in,
somebody
like-
who can actually not eat for a while and survive. All right. Paranoid, where can they find you?
ParanoidAmerican.com, Paranoid American on all social media networks.
Great show, as always. We're going to get this comic book done. I'm telling you right now, dude, I'm very excited about it. Go check it out. Chaos Twins. Links there. We're going to get the GoFundMe going, and we will be... No, it's not GoFundMe. Which one are we doing? Kickstarter going, and it will be done by tomorrow. I promise you. Put my name on it. All right, dude. As always, a pleasure to talk to you, and let's break down the episode. All right, guys, what'd you think? Paranoid American, one of my favorite people.
He's cool.
We love him.
Dude, I'm glad we got news on the comic is actually going to go down.
You promised.
You promised.
Tomorrow. You
It's
promised.
going down tomorrow.
On your word.
Stop being an asshole. Okay? It's going down tomorrow, dude. I thought that was an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Very well researched on his part. I give him a lot of.
I give him credit. I'm sorry.
Go on.
No, it's interesting to me because he seems to be of two minds about it also, right? Like he can't quite decide how much of it is based in reality and how much of it is.
Well, he would be like, so then I researched it and it's true.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay, so at some point we got to go, maybe this is what we think it is, but I can understand that there is this psyop done to make everybody afraid of the world.
Yes.
So it's like there's just demons and reptilians everywhere all the time. And it's just like, again, I've said this before. I would rather live in an extremely paranoid society that gets things wrong than live in a community of sheeple that just accepts everything that these fucking elites tell them.
What if the sheeple are happier?
What?
What if they're happier? They're like the guy. With
I don't know if they're happier.
No, I'm saying, what if you're happier just not knowing and letting go back to sleep, America? That whole thing.
I mean, does it look like that with the
No, I'm asking
Antifa
you, though.
people?
What do
They're
you
just
think?
deep throating psyops.
To me, those aren't the ones that you're talking about. To me, it's people like our parents, who have no idea of all these conspiracies.
I understand that, and I'm not trying to come at you. I know that sounded like that. I'm not. Yeah, that's a great point. But also
I'm just asking you a question. I'm not.
No, I'm with
opinion.
you. I think the game was different then. I think they didn't know a lot because they were setting up this time we're in now.
I mean, my sister's like that. She doesn't know about any of this shit, dude. She's living her life.
Dude, and they don't care. My sister, there's people that I know that I try to like, hey.
Okay, did your sister get the shot, Johnny?
No.
Okay, so she is somewhat,
But not because of any of that. She
nothing.
No, she just was not like, she's like, I'm not doing that. Yeah.
Well, I mean that infers a little bit of research.
Okay.
A little bit.
You're being very generous, but I mean, I know.
I
my
mean,
sister.
even if it's just like seeing an Instagram or Facebook post.
It wasn't. Yeah, maybe.
I'm not saying your sister is a conspiracy theorist.
No, I mean she
but
has no idea about any of it, dude. She doesn't even know from UFOs or like she could, dude. Legit, I'm not sure my sister could tell you who the vice president. She couldn't tell you who the vice president is.
Well, that's
100%.
comfortably numb then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking you. Is comfortably numb a better state to be in than being activated and paranoid all the time?
I mean, would you rather eat the steak?
That's
even though
exactly
it's
the
not
question,
steak?
right? Yeah.
See, but I think when you have kids, it changes. She
has kids.
Yeah, I know, but as for me, the only reason I care is because I eventually want kids, and I don't want my kids to have to deal with all this bullshit that's going on. If I was a bachelor and I didn't want kids, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna die by the time this shit goes into play. I'm 70, I'm 80. Who fucking cares? But
Well, and also there's an idea of what the can you do about it anyway?
That's another thing too. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?
No, but this is what I want to say about conspiracies. It's not about changing it. It's about understanding the games they're playing and not to play into it, right? Like, let's say your nephew grows up, Johnny, and he is a straight up sheeple. Let's say your sister is a sheeple, right? And she's like, he's going to join the military to protect America. Like that could happen, yeah. That's dangerous, right? Because they're not protecting America. They're curb stomping brown people for their natural resources. Yeah. So, I mean, that's where that comes.
A whole generation. I mean, there are plenty of people in my generation I know who are just lost to that 9/11 mindset. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it, dude. I mean, like, if you go, Sam, would you rather, being able to take your family aside, right? Let's put that, because obviously I'm blessed that I've been able to take care of, my kids, Dana, her mom, all that stuff. Let's just put that aside, okay? And let's go spiritually. Are you happier today than you were then? I'd say today I'm much more happier.
See, okay, now we're getting somewhere, because to me, I'm definitely more knowledgeable and activated. I don't know if I could say I'm happier knowing all those things. It's a burden to me, because it makes me. I'm paranoid. I'm worrying a lot about.
It's kind of like a horror film. Johnny.
yeah, sure.
Like, do you want to be the person that everyone's disappearing? You decide to take a shower, or do you want to know there's a killer out there?
Depends on if I survive or not, I guess. If I'm the person who is
Does the
taking
guy
a
who
shower
ever
the
takes
whole
a
time-
shower ever survive?
Nope.
Yeah, but sometimes there's
We
the
get to
guy at
see
the
your
end who walks
titties?
out and is like, what happened? No, I don't know. Like that. I want to be that guy. It's like, oh, well, Billy's dead.
Some
Billy's head
chick-
fell off.
Apparently, chicks with great tits love the shower when everyone goes missing.
Yeah.
I'll
No,
just take a shower. Yeah, they just had to force a scene to see your tits.
Well, you can't do drugs or have sex in a horror movie, or you're dead. If you do any of those two things in a movie, you're dead. You have to. It's Mando. You have sex or you do drugs, you die.
Yeah.
To be clear, though, my choice is,
Or black.
I mean, obviously, is to be
Shower with
the,
tits?
the red pill, but but I don't know if I would want to burden somebody else with that. Like a child.
Well,
or
Johnny, it
something.
also comes down to maybe this time is the most unique of times because it seems like they're making their move. Like all this century of discussion, 120 years about what the elites wanted to do seems to be cultivating to this one moment where, they're trying to bring in digital ID. They're destroying our dollar. They're trying to get our debt to 100 trillion so that they could just switch in digital currency.
Yeah, I mean, would you have felt the same way when they were going off the gold standard, though? Probably.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think there's something like this in every generation where it's like Vietnam, gold standard, moon landing, the Cold War. Like it all
But we
feels-
were a lot more. It was the
atomic crisis.
a lot of the cultural war was just starting then. It was like more outlaw shit than having your teacher welcome.
the hippie movement. Like,
Yeah, but again, that was kind of the beginning of it, and it was like basic things like women should be able to have sex and just not feel like sluts. And you're like, okay, I'm cool with that.
French Revolution. I mean, was that the? I mean, I think if you would have felt, if you were alive then, you would have felt like it's all this is it right here.
I guess maybe it's kind of crazy.
I just feel like each generation has to grapple with this on their terms.
I agree, Johnny. Huntington Beach. My dates go to. I'm going to be at Huntington Beach, Austin. I'm shooting my special. Albuquerque. The 1,000th episode sold out, but we might have an after party. I want to have an after party, and then I realize I'm going to be so tired.
Yeah, it's going to be we wouldn't be making it till like 12:30 at the after party.
Maybe be like an informal thing. Like, hey, let's go down to some
Or we
bar
do
or
it the
something.
next morning.
Yeah.
And everybody
In the
meet up.
morning?
No, not morning. Like afternoon, meet at the bar. Everyone meet up.
A little brunch, yeah.
Let's go for a hike, like a nature
No, I don't want to go hiking.
a nature trail around
Let's just
the
all
lake where
go
all these
see
single
when-
boys are getting killed.
Let's see. Let's do would you be in Austin an extra day just to have like a next day meetup when everyone's kind of rested? And if the answer is enough people saying yes, which is of the 240 people there,
We could go to the barbecue joint or something.
we could all go to Red Band's place, hang out, listen to some music.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a Thursday, so
Circle
that would
jerk.
be it's a Thursday, so it'd be Friday. You'd
Yeah.
be staying there Friday, hanging out Friday night, Friday afternoon.
All right, we'll think about it. I'm down. St. Petersburg, Lawrence, Kansas, Tulsa, and then finally ending. Oh, we got Skankfest in New Orleans and in Austin. Premium content's on point. Oh, join the newsletter. Join the newsletter. I'm telling you, you're going to get I'm shadow banned everywhere. If you want to know where I'm going to be, you'll get my dates. You'll get when my live streams are happening that week. And then you'll get pictures of me with chicks with fat yammies.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What? What does that mean?
Those are mammies. Yammies.
No. I mean, are you?
I'm not really going to put
Oh,
pictures
okay.
of me with chicks with
I
big
thought
tits.
maybe you'd been like archiving like a selection of.
Right now,
fan
there's a
pics or something.
fight on Instagram on who's my hottest fan. Some chicks like I want to be Sam's hottest fan. This other chick's like, I thought I was your hottest fan. I'm like, fight it out.
Fight it out. Fight it
Send
out.
nudes.
Ooh.
Send nudes.
Yeah, we can't figure out who's Sam's
Is it
hottest.
bad to ask for nudes?
Well, if we're gonna figure out who's your hottest
Can I
fan,
ask for nudes? I'm asking the jury. Are you allowed to ask for nudes?
yes. How are we gonna judge who's the hottest one if we don't see nudes?
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, lawyer.
You did it,
Xavier.
There you go. You got there. Good job.
My premium content's fire. We got whatever this is with Austin. Austin and Brad, and then the Kurt and Sam experiment. That's great. Cash Daddies, that's fire. Go check that out, Johnny.
Yes, it's a lovely community of like-minded folks who are just trying to prepare for the eventual collapse of the economy.
Do you like monies? Do you like the monies? Go down. Chaos Twins talked about the whole show. That will be done. T-shirts. I got a new T-shirt I'm gonna make, dude. It will be Sam is right, and it's just me. Sam was right, just me on a throne with a fucking crown.
When's that girl coming on Broken Sim?
It's so funny.
Yeah, when does she get to come on, Johnny?
She
Go up a little bit. Go up.
just messaged me the other day, so we're talking about it.
Yep, all these cool shirts.
Yes.
I got new ones coming, guys. I'm constantly putting out new ones. Hydrogen brown gas, chemical free body. I take it all the time. Harley Ray, we love them. Candles, Crystal Sage. Joe Staley, get in shape. He keeps trying with me. I'm a fat. EMF Rocks, Prometheus. If you want a decentralized website, Brain Supreme.
Off. I'm off this week.
Off this week. Go check that out. Real quick, go to my new special. My new crowd work special is about to drop. Guys, for you guys like, why is it always crowd work? This is just bonus shit. I'm shooting my new special in May. This is just bonus because I'm good at it. It's a fire 35 minutes. Fire 35 minutes.
If the thumbnail doesn't say fire,
Should
I know
I
what
change the time? Because that's East Coast. Should I change it to 10 or noon?
If you premiere, it means you're gonna have a chat room. You know that, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a bad time.
Okay, so I'll go change the time. What time do you think would be best?
Afternoon.
Noon?
Well, like
2?
like 7 p.m.
When people
At night?
No, you know what?
what day of the week is it?
He wants to drop it on.
I think it's on a Friday.
Should put it after work then.
Okay.
Because anybody
All right,
who works.
so let's
is
see
not
what
gonna
May
watch it.
2nd is. What day is that?
Friday's not a great time to drop.
May
stuff,
2nd
generally.
is a Saturday.
I don't. You see, podcast like the best time to drop is like during drive time, like after when people get home from work. But
So
I
what,
don't know that
5
this is
p.m.?
I don't know if this is the same as that.
You know what I think would be
don't know.
the best idea for you to drop it on Tuesday after doom scrolling. Send them over there. Tell them like, hey guys, yeah. I mean, that's not a bad idea, but it will be coming out, guys. Go check it out at Sam Tripoli.
Yeah, I'm just
Comedy.
gonna put it on Saturday. I'll do 5 p.m. Eastern, and you guys can watch it. And then you can still. It's only 35 minutes. Then go check out our YouTube channel. Why are you on
Yeah,
that
not that
channel?
one.
You piece of shit. He can't even find it. He's gonna take us. We don't smoke to say.
There it is. There it is. My bad, guys.
That's right. Tinfoil Hat Official, everybody. Tinfoil Hat Official. We're almost at 54,000. Join us. Subscribe. Even if you watch on samtripoli.com and everything. Subscribe. Check it out. Love it. Word War Debate, dude. I'm so excited. We got big meetings coming up. People, dude, we're just waiting for one thing to hit, and then this thing is going to go supersonic. Bam, 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 bam. Supersonic. Bam, 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 bam. And then we should be announcing the World War Debate Contender Series. We're just waiting for the final notions. Anything else, guys?
Hit that like button and subscribe, please, guys. Let's get to 60,000, please.
New Broken Sim is out. Check it out. It's on iTunes and Up Your Butt on YouTube too.
Oh, dude, I love Up Your Butt, the website. Go to upyourbutt.com. See if anyone owns that.
I don't really want to look that up.
Upyourbutt.com. See if anyone has it.
My favorite website.
Nope. I don't even-
Ubuntu?
Yeah, I don't know what that
Ubuntu.
is.
That's like a.
Upyourbutt.com. We could get that if we really wanted it.
Should we look up whitenword.com?
What?
Whitenword.com?
Yeah, go to whitenword.com. Check that out.
We know where that's going.
Yeah, we do know where that's going. So you know what I'm going to do, dude? When I get really old and I wrap it up, I'm going to see who is the greatest white M word out there, and I'm going to gift them the URL.
Oh, that's such a gift.
I'm going to have a competition. Who's the number one wigger out there?
Wow.
And they're going to have to compete. And then I have to prove that they're going to use it. and then I'm going to give away.
Is it going to be like a final March Madness style tournament? Is that what we're talking?
Because people, you paid a lot of money for that.
I did.
What if it's a celebrity like Kid Rock or something wins? Is that what? Could it be a celebrity that
A
wins?
celebrity could get 2 if he's the most white M word out there.
I wonder who them.
I want to say the word, but I don't want him to have to.
Yeah, poor
spend time.
actually. Yeah. It's like, here's more work, buddy.
What else? That's about it, guys. So enjoy these highlights.
Okay, no, remember we got to say, okay, hey, there's a thing we recorded before.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, 3.
All right, before we get into that, we recorded some.
No, before we leave.
Before we leave, okay.
Yeah, 3.
Before we leave to the highlights, we recorded something with the Paranoid American at the beginning of the show. It's a wonderful cartoon. We show most of it. We didn't show the whole thing, but it's a cartoon about Norm Macdonald and some really sage advice he gave about stand-up comedy. So enjoy it.
All right, hey guys, we're in the outro here, but Sam had a video he wanted to play, and Paranoid American has joined us to watch it.
He stayed on.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is a video made by a fan taking a portion of a little interview that Norm Macdonald did, but it's done so well. If you're listening at home, you can still hear it, but if you watch it, you're going to love this. Here we go. Yeah, try it.
In 2016, I made a recording of Norm Macdonald. I didn't really understand it at the time, but when I heard he died just a few years later, I went back and listened to it again. I'm rolling.
Does anybody have a cigarette? I'm not going to light it. I just want to hold it to calm me down. Thank you. If a guy's really convinced of an afterlife, then life becomes more and more trivial, you know. You don't spend your days denying the catastrophe to come. When I was just starting out in comedy, I met a guy named Sam Kinison. He never made the mistake that a lot of entertainers do, which is to try to figure out what the audience wants to hear.
You suck! Come on! You want a party? Yeah, let's go!
Please don't. Those guys are always the best. The ones untethered to this world. They're a little bit closer to heaven than all the rest of us. And Sam took me under his wing, kind of.
And now your host, the Weasel! Hey, boys. Let's get this party started.
Kinison told me there's 2 ways to write a joke. One, you do it like Jerry Seinfeld.
What's the deal with life cereal? Why don't we call it Odies or Squaries?
You take a little thing like cornflakes and you make it big and treat it with the utmost importance.
Oh no, this is much bigger than that. This is life, I tell you.
But the other way to do it, the better way, is you take a very, very important thing and do the opposite. Either way, it juxtaposes the absurd with the profound, and that dissonance is art.
Norm Macdonald!
When he told me that, it changed my whole comedy. You know, with Hitler, the more I learn about that guy, the more I don't care for him.
Okay, you named it there. There's going to be some singing.
Kinison had been a preacher, you know.
Oh, hey, keep going.
Spirit of God! I've screamed at God at the top of my lungs!
That's where he got that wild shriek. When he died, he'd finally quit drugs. He got hit head on by a fucking guy that was all stoned. It was very ironic. He got out of the car, he walked around.
Sam, are you all right?
And he said to his friend Carl LeBeau, he goes, I'm fine, I'm fine. Internally, he was bleeding, but he looked fine. And then he says, why now, why now? And now he's talking to God. And then he smiles and he goes, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Man lies down and dies. So maybe you don't think there's Jesus Christ, but you got to know there's God. And people like Kennison, even when they die, they live forever.
Yeah,
for Sam.
Stop it.
Oh wow, it's Billy Joe Shaver.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
a
want
great
to sing.
singer. He's
Yeah, I
a
know.
great singer.
I don't want to say. Okay, sorry, Paranoid. You had to go through that, but
That was wonderful. All
that
right.
was wonderful, right?
great.
And you
I
just-
didn't know any of that. I didn't know Sam Kinison was a preacher. I didn't
you
know
did?
any of that
Yeah.
backstory.
Yeah,
So that was
dude.
awesome.
Yeah, you should watch a story on him. It's absolutely amazing.
That
dude.
that animation too. I mean, that was top level animation. Like I get jealous when I see really good animation, and that was top tier.
All right, so we
Go.
got we have XG trying to figure out the computer still. All right, hope you enjoyed that. We all got a lot from them. Enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim.
My theory is, and this is possible, I'm not saying it's what happened, but it is a theory that they learned from COVID that they have to get rid of anybody that could possibly speak out against the PSYOP.
Oh, interesting.
So they're taking all. Yes, I am psychic. Thank you, local celebrity Steve Lafayette. Okay, that they are eliminating anyone that could come out and say this is total bullshit. It's a total lie. Okay, so that's why they're offing these people, because these are the people who work directly with it that could say something, and they learned from COVID that they got to get rid of the quote unquote experts who could push back.
One of these people who.
What do you think of that, Johnny?
No, I totally buy it. Yeah, sure. I mean, it makes it. We've been feeling for a while now that they're ramping up to something, right? Like that the pressure is building, and we feel like it's like a tea kettle on the stove, and it's just
It's coming, dude.
yeah, it's coming. So
We get all the cool shit, Johnny. We get World War III. We get Armageddon. We get nuclear war.
Yeah.
We get Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
We get a depression. I mean, my God, how lucky are we? Bring it all.
May
I
you
think the
live
draft
in-
starts at 5 p.m. Pacific, if you're asking.
May you live in interesting times. So one of those people is this woman. What is her name?
Oh, yeah, dude. This chick told a crazy story, dude.
Her name is Amy Eskridge. Now I'll just
Her
play.
name was.
Yeah, her name was Amy Eskridge. Now she was engaged in openly in anti-gravity research, anti-gravity
Yes.
propulsion. I have 3 clips here. This is the first I'll play. Now she did turn up dead and unalived herself, according to what was reported.
The more we dig into this story, the more we find. After urging from the White House, the FBI and other agencies.
You think she bleaches her
deaths or
beehole?
disappearances of these 11
You're an
US
animal.
scientists. One of them is Alabama-based scientist Amy Eskridge. She was openly studying anti-gravity technology when she died in 2022. Her death was deemed a suicide by a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but she warned friends ahead of time that her life could be in danger. She spoke daily with Frank Milburn, a former British intelligence officer, about the threats she was getting, and he believes she was murdered for her work.
Is that a little weird, by the way? I thought did you bump on that at all? Like she spoke daily to a former British intelligence officer?
That's not good. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
That doesn't help.
I don't believe that she killed herself. I just can't, because I spoke to her 4 hours before and she told me time and time again, I'm not going to commit. I am not going to have an accident. If there's something suspicious about.
How do you know if you're going to have an accident?
Milburn shared this
Yeah, that's a good
text
point.
message he received from Eskridge May 13th.
Okay, so I'll just read this. They've already said the word a few times. We got away with it a couple weeks ago. Hopefully we're getting away with it now. Oh, by the way, this is from Amy to that guy. If you see any report that I murdered myself, I most definitely did not. If you see any report that I OD'd myself, I most definitely did not. If you see any report that I offed anyone else, I most definitely did not. And then, not long after.
Well, it's also that they could be using this to push the PSYOP even more.
Entirely. I mean, yeah, we've been on the front lines of this, and we've been kind of.
We have been on the front lines, guys,
and yeah,
we're front liners.
But you know what I mean? You get pulled in wrong directions sometimes when you're right on the, you're trying to track things as they're happening.
Yeah, Johnny, we're trying to solve crimes in the dark here.
So she is a proponent of an idea. I'll just play a couple of clips from her. She would do podcasts and talk about the things she was working on. Here's something very interesting.
It's been independently discovered 4 other times. He said it has been suppressed every single time. And
what is it? My Instagram account?
I think they're talking about anti-gravity. Yeah, anti-gravity here.
I thought she was talking about our YouTube channel.
Dude, that would be great. We should do that.
She's listen, Sam Tripoli's YouTube channel is so suppressed.
We should do so
much truth on that.
She's dead, but it would be funny if we did an AI where it made it like she was talking about Sam Tripoli's YouTube. Sam Tripoli's YouTube channel.
It's been independently discovered 4 other times.
Oh, well, no. Yeah.
He said,
right.
That's about as many new subscribers as we get, 4 different times.
And he said, I don't think they're going to suppress it this time. He said, I think you're in the clear. He said, they obviously know about you because I've had multiple.
Is she got, are those DVDs behind her?
I think they're books. Well, on the bottom. Yeah, those. No, I think they're books. Yes. Yeah, I think they're books. Just thin. Some of those. No, those are books.
Various agency affiliations, whatever. He was like, if you haven't had a U.S. government agent come to you and say, stop, shut the fuck up, stop, shut the fuck up. If that hasn't happened, they're going to let you do it. They're waiting. There are SSP motherfuckers that are fucking twiddling their thumbs.
Ooh.
Like, is Amy not going to publish soon? Gah, we've been influencing this bitch forever. Doesn't she know we want her to publish? Jesus. Like, there's multiple people doing that right now. And on the other side of the fence.
By the way, I hate to be disrespectful, but looks like she's having coke drip right now.
Yeah, she's got that energy, doesn't she? She's on uppers or something.
She's have that.
Yeah, no, she is eating. I will say, you see later that she's eating, so it's possible that it's just that. But yeah, she's definitely got speed, energy for sure.
Parties looking at each other like, didn't we tell this 3 years ago that we kill people for this? Is she not listening? What is she doing? She's still doing it. What? We told her we were going to kill her 3 years ago. So I have these two different scenarios floating constantly in my life where I have people being like, do it. You're the one, do it. And then I have multiple people being like, they're going to kill you.
So that's super interesting to me.
Yeah, super interesting.
Right. What's your take? What do you think of that? Like the idea that some people who would know are saying like, you're good if nobody's, and then because she says this thing, right? She's like, if they haven't told you they're going to off you, you're good. And then she says, they have told me they're going to off me.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe a chick can't tell a story. That's unbelievable. I've never heard of that before. But I've never heard of a woman who can't tell you a straight story. That's unbelievable. If words cost money, women would file bankruptcy every day.
So then she shares this idea of what ET is, what extraterrestrials are.
Dude.
This is wild.
Well, so the ultra terrestrials, I'll just tell you. The ultra terrestrials, I think. Have you heard of the P-52s and the P?
I love the P-52s.
Do you know what that is?
Come if you want to. Come around the world.
No, that's Rome. Rome, if you want to.
Oh. Rome, if you want to. Roam around the world.
The B-52s, yeah, they were
great, dude.
Yeah.
Great band.
She's saying P-52s. So
oh, different band.
Yeah.
They're us from the future. They're from here. They are you. They are me. They're from here, from the future. P-47 is present plus 47,000 years.
Whoa.
P-52 is present plus 52,000 years.
So they're 5 years
And
apart.
basically, there's a calamity.
1,000 years.
Right. So there's like a apocalypse scenario in the near future.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app or check us out at youtube.com/Sam Tripoli.
Holy shit. Thank you, brother. Oh, yeah, you did it, bro. Welcome back to the #1 podcast in the world. It's your boy XG Marks the Spot. And like sometimes I got Chili Millie today. Burm, 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 burm. She's back. We're back, guys. It's been about a month since you guys seen Chili Millie. You guys went deep down the rabbit hole with the Gates program, and then she disappeared on me.
It's so funny you call it Gates.
It's the gay program.
I know, but you always like Gates.
It's a little gay.
No, not gay. Not everything is gay.
Everybody in the chat room, everyone that left comments,
were they nice? I didn't want to look. I was too scared. You know?
dude, they all loved you. They were all they wanted.
They were gonna be like, dang.
No, they wanted a part 2. Everybody wants to do like a call-in.
What the hell is a part? Oh, for them?
Yeah, like a part
Okay.
2 where they call in and they tell you their experiences, and then
that would be cool.
they relate with you. I think a lot of them were just trying to hit on you.
Can you imagine part 2? And
Part
she
2.
started working at CVS.
CVS. But yes, as you guys saw, that little video we just played earlier today was the We Don't Smoke the Same 420 Comedy Store main room sold out show. We fucking smoked that place out.
That's such a good picture.
Oh, that picture looks insane. It looks like if I just sent you, what do you think is happening here? That shit's burning down.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I'm surprised people driving by didn't think it was on fire.
Dude, I didn't think about it till you kind of put it in perspective. You're like, dude, you couldn't walk on that fucking street without getting smoked the fuck out.
No, I was like, how if you don't want to smoke or something, or you're like recovering or something.
Yeah, if you're a regular person like Chili and you just want to participate in the We Don't Smoke the Same
go.
show, you're fucked. You're fucked. Sam Tripoli was fucked. He was there. There's no way he didn't get second hand high. But dude, everybody was asking about you. Everybody was there. I'm gonna name out like I usually always do. DJ Paz, Scumbags. Shout out to El Grito Kid, Mega Man with his wife Cindy.
Yeah, they tagged me a whole bunch.
Dude, everybody was there. Everybody wanted to do that. And there was a doppelganger of me.
Oh yeah.
There was this black guy that looked like me.
What?
Yeah, and at that point I was like, my dad's not into black chicks. There's no way that's my doppelganger.
That's your brother.
My brother, but yeah.
Why didn't you take a picture with him?
I did. Everybody wanted me to take pictures of him. Like Mega Man posted it on his Instagram, but I don't know.
Of him?
Of
It's on Mega
him.
Man's Instagram? I'm gonna look it up.
I knew you would.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there was this doppelganger. I think he worked for Catalyst, the company that sponsored the We Don't Smoke the Same. Thank you again for sponsoring the show and giving away so many goodies to all the fans. But yeah, I think he worked with them, and he looked, I would say like a 7. A 7 like me. If I had to rate how much he looked like me, it's probably a 7. He had a Dominican vibe. He was a little bit skinnier.
Sorry, hold on.
No, you're good.
It's
You're good.
plain freaking Mexican Walmart OT.
Walmart OT, dog. Come on. Let's get you on this pod.
No.
But he looked a little bit like me, and then we did a side by side, and Mega Man took a picture. I don't know if he ended up posting it, or maybe I could send it to you.
What's Mega Man's fucking?
Just Mega Man.
Nuh-uh.
But he's super shadow banned, so I wouldn't doubt that
Yeah,
if you
it's
can't
not
find
popping up
it.
on my shit.
I'll send it to you right now. Give me 1 second. But it was a great time.
Yeah.
Sold it out.
It looked dope.
Sam gave me the best compliment he's ever given me.
What did he say?
He said that it felt like the Comedy Store before COVID.
Oh, that's sick.
That was sick to me, but it did. The green room was packed out. We had females there. Sam Tripoli ended up smelling some fucking girl's armpit. Can't find it.
I'm looking for it through Cindy's.
Yeah, dude.
There it
This fool
goes.
is super shadow banned, huh?
I just see you on here.
Click on it, maybe.
Or how long ago did he post?
He
that
posts
shit?
every fucking day. I don't know,
I don't see it.
but let me see. Fucking A.
Is that him?
Oh, here it is. Let me see. Oh, where is it? Bro,
He has
whatever.
like 50 Instagrams, by the way.
Yeah, he
so
does.
Who even knows?
Whatever. You'll find me. There was a doppelganger there. I mean, I just want to thank everybody who went out again. And next time, Chili, are you pulling up for 710?
Yeah. If you guys get that one, that'd be dope.
Yeah. So if you guys want us there,
When will you guys know?
I don't know. We should know in like the next couple weeks about what the fuck's going on. We had major security. We had better security.
Fucking,
Dude.
what's his face?
No.
Ralph?
No, we didn't. But
I was like, is that your security?
No. The reason I was saying is we had better security here because it was tough getting in. Like, at one point it got sold out, and then Bart's was trying to bring in some fucking big lip bitches, and it was sold out, and I was like, I can't bring you in.
Fake
lips.
fake chicks?
Yeah, they were hot though, kind of hot.
Bart's did?
Yeah, dude. At one point, was like, "Go out there. Bart's needs to bring in some chicks in." And yeah, I was not that I was surprised that Bart's had him in, but I went out there and I was like, "Bart's."
Were they sitting at his table?
I was at one point.
You didn't even notice.
But the reason I brought it up, I was like, dude, security was fucking tough at the We Don't Smoke the Same Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Tougher than at the fucking.
I was gonna say that
White
right now,
House.
but I don't want to get into the something yet. I don't want to get into that yet.
What do you want to know?
When in the group text, when Ezone was saying about eat hoodies, it just was busy. It wasn't like nothing crazy was happening.
No, it was just busy
help.
as fuck. No, I was just busy because we were giving out raffles.
Yeah.
So everybody who doesn't know, we don't do fucking shows the same. We gave almost everybody got a bong, goodies. We were giving out Matt Robinson piece, and also
Who got that?
Huh?
Who got that?
Dude, I don't fucking know.
No, I thought maybe
Like a fan, like
Craig.
I did, yeah. No,
I saw Craig looking at it, and I was like, "Did Craig get it?"
No, Craig just was admiring the artwork from fucking Matt Robinson.
Isn't Craig? Is Craig? Is he a stoner? Does he smoke or is he sober?
He's Cali sober.
Oh, so he smokes.
Yeah, he smokes.
Oh,
He
okay.
still
He just
smokes
doesn't
weed.
drink and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
So I was like, I saw him in the fucking crowd with the fucking. Sorry, I keep cussing with the smoke, and I was like, dude, this was loving it. I didn't even play that video, did I?
This one?
Did I just play this one?
This is the one we started off
Oh,
with.
my
You can
bad.
play it one more time. I mean, dude, that shit is lit, bro. It's a weed blower. And
shit's
the
crazy.
and the word. I mean, the best part.
Escape that.
Holy shit. Thank you, brother. Oh, yeah, you did it, bro.
Was he doing Nas? Or does his voice just sound like that?
No, I think his voice just sounded like that. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. There was no
That sounded
Nas.
like a Nas
Yeah,
voice.
there was no. Let me hear that again. Whose
That's
voice?
Ezone.
That's Ezone?
That's what I was like. Is he doing Nas? That's
Let me hear
Ezone.
it.
Watch. Wait.
I'm almost sure.
That's not Ezone's video, but hear Ezone.
Holy
That's Ezone.
Thank you, brother.
Well, that noise is from the music.
Oh shit. He says, "Oh shit." That's Ezone.
Holy shit.
I guess it is Ezone.
And then that was what's his face? Global, no?
Yeah.
He was saying what's up too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But the best part about that is because I've participated in those weed blower shits,
Yeah.
but usually it's some shitty ass weed.
I couldn't find the one with the porta potty.
Oh yeah. See, that was another part. See, okay, I'm not gonna say whose weed that was, but whoever did the one when I was in the porta potty with that weed blower, that wasn't good weed.
Oh no.
That was like some like trim, like bottom of the barrel weed that you're just kind of trying to get rid of.
Oh, but this was good.
This was Haydar.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, so we did it. We were smoking people up with some bomb ass weed. So it was a little bit of a.
No one passed out. No one did anything.
one
No
passed
stupid
out,
stuff.
No stupid shit.
No fights.
I didn't puke. Ezone didn't puke.
There was no one arguing. Everyone got along.
Chicklets partied.
Dang.
Yeah, it was a great ass fucking no one fought. It was honestly not. It's funny that now that you mentioned that, I don't remember one single argument or even Ezone yelling like, "Hey, dumbass!"
Yeah.
Nothing.
No one got rowdy.
No one got rowdy.
Everyone sat there and was good and said,
Yes.
"Shut the fuck."
No one lit up. No one lit up.
That's crazy that you guys would have the nicest crowd because like usually like other people, they're always yelling
Yeah.
at them and like heckling. You would think that this would be a heckle crowd.
And that's the first thing I told Ezone. I was like, bro, I swear to God, one of these dumbasses is gonna light up in the main room.
Yeah.
And they're gonna set off the fire alarm. We're gonna fucking not get sued, but it's gonna be the last time we fucking perform here. So we went up. We started off with the show. We're like, hey guys, thank you for coming out, but please do not light up. We will light up and smoke up after the show, and we motherfucking did.
I thought the green room was gonna get you guys kicked out.
Oh, dude, they told
So
us.
I know you guys had like promised a bunch of people for the green room.
They told us to stop smoking in the green
Yeah.
room. Yeah.
How packed was it in there?
It was packed.
You guys gonna have phones? You guys didn't take no pictures in there? That's crazy.
No. So this was the thing. We went over this on the We Don't Smoke the Same. We all had a great time, but none of us enjoyed it.
What?
We all had a great time,
Yeah.
but none of us enjoyed it. Like neither me, Ezone, nor Nitty sat there and like like.
Oh, you guys didn't
enjoyed
take
it.
a time.
We
to
didn't
like,
take the
okay,
time to be like,
take it
holy
in.
shit, yeah.
I was like, you sound like you're miserable.
No, my bad. No. Because at one point I had to go get waters.
I was like, what happened?
At one point, Ezel's like, there's no green room, there's no waters in the green room, and everyone's smoking. And I'm like, fuck. So instead of sending someone or getting someone,
You just ran. You're used to that though.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
that you mean. I don't mean it in a mean way, but you're used to like, running and going.
So that's so like Nitty said, we all had a great time. It was one of the best times of my life, but it wasn't like enjoyed. Like maybe the second one, we can sit down and be like, holy shit,
Talk to people and do all that. That's cool, dude.
But it was great.
Was Steph there?
Steph Tone was there.
No one bothered him. Nothing.
No one bothered him, but he was one of the ones that was getting was having a hard time getting in. Imagine
you say some crazy stuff sometimes.
What?
You're all he's one that got hard.
No, I said
I know.
Oh,
and then you changed it.
Whatever.
It's
My
just
bad.
funny. I was like, what? They wouldn't let him in? Security was that tough?
I don't know if his name was written down or whatever, but it's so funny how
someone had to go let him in.
Kind of where someone's like, "Hey, can you just
shut the fuck
And
up.
it's funny how out of everybody in the whole fucking crowd, he's the one that has trouble getting in, the one that sold out fucking stadiums, worldwide rock star, and he's the one who's like, "Hey,
let me call Ezel. And
can I get in or not? Because I'm about to fucking leave." Type
Who
of
did
shit.
The security? Actual Ezel or actual comedy store?
Comedy store ran all that. Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was such a good time.
Can you imagine he had a name drop? He's like, I'm in the Deftones, right?
Dude, that's how I would walk around. I would Justin Bieber I would Justin Timberlake the shit out of this.
Justin Bieber too.
Huh?
Oh, you mean like say I'm in NSYNC?
Yeah, I'm on tour. I would say I'm on tour all the
Yeah.
time. Like I'm on tour. Go look me up.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Who else was there? B-Real?
No, Be Real didn't show up.
None of them?
Not that many celebrities. I think Mellow Mayonnaise pulled up. Then we have Bobblehead. Bobblehead
baseball.
Was yeah, wow.
Base, right?
Bobblehead baseball. Yeah.
His name's on Bobblehead.
Is it baseball head?
Yeah.
Well, he's not.
He said Bobblehead.
He doesn't always do baseballs. How is he gonna be baseball head if he doesn't always do baseballs?
He mainly does baseball. It was cool to see my designs on his head.
That's what I was about to say.
I wish I would have posted that. I'm like, no one sent me the fucking picture of my art all over his head.
I have a video.
That's all right. I should have went.
Huh?
I should have went.
Yeah, you should have gone.
It was cool though. It looked cool.
That was a great time.
Yeah, but you guys had better security than Trump did.
Dude.
That's crazy, dude.
Okay.
There's so much that's happened. I haven't been here in a month.
Yeah. Okay. So before we get into this fucking White House, what is it? Correspondence dinner or whatever?
Correspondence.
Yeah, that's why they don't let me in. Because I can't even pronounce it.
You're saying some big words right now. You did pretty good. I didn't want to stop you from talking, and I was like, hey. Go ahead. Sorry.
But, okay, right off the bat. You done a little bit of a research? I know it just happened on Saturday. Did you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Is it an inside job? Is this a real assassination attempt? Is this part 2 from Tennessee Butler? What the fuck's going on? I have a couple videos where it's like the math ain't mathing. This shit looks like some type of like conspiracy and like they want that ballroom. And I know it sounds stupid saying that
You think Trump did it because he wants the ballroom?
It sounds so stupid because it's already getting built.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need to do it if it's already getting built, but then why? Why are you going to sit there and say you need security and then this security is horrible?
Do you think that they did it to, because everyone was there, right? Like JD and freaking Erica and all this stuff. They did it to like make people like distracted again. Like you saw how quick she did the fucking victim thing. Like, I just want to go home.
I just want to go home.
You think that it was like that? You know what I mean? Like now Candace looks like everyone who's attacking her, Tucker, Candace. You know what I mean? You know how everyone's
yeah. And
to like get them like shut the fuck up.
It's crazy to think that at the end of it, they pulled out JD Vance before they pulled out Trump.
I sent you that. I thought that was crazy.
That's fucking nuts, dude. I don't know in what mentality you're not going to go after the president first and to go after the VP unless you just don't give a fuck about the president.
I could pull it up on here. I mean, we have a lot of clips from it, but like the JD Vance one. Oh, actually, you know, I have it on mine.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
I'd be fucking pissed. If I'm
they pulled out JD.
If I'm Trump, if I'm big boy Trump, and you're gonna fucking protect the VP over me?
You think that I'll play this one. Do you think Dana knew? You think Trump like told Dana like, "Hey, I'm gonna fake a thing," and then Dana's just chilling like, "This is all stupid." Do you want to play the video?
See, I mean, yeah. I mean, he's a fucking retard.
Dana?
Yeah. Who fuck says stupid shit like this after like an attempt?
A death attempt?
An assassination attempt on the president. Like, how are you going to say this even though I know you want... I mean, is this clout? Like, do you really think this is how he thinks that everything's an action movie? Does he think that everything's the WWE? And tables were flipping and I just...
UFC.
Well, the UFC just merged with the WWE.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the reason I said that.
You know more than me. Never mind. Sorry.
No, I know. You're good. But they just merged. Yeah, the UFC just merged with the WWE. And it's why I'm like, all of a sudden, it's just everything.
I get it.
Yeah. So play it.
He looks like Bart's, no?
He does look a little bit like Bart's.
Inside, they started up. All of a sudden, it just started getting noisy. Tables getting flipped over, guys running in with guns, and they were screaming, "Get down!" I didn't get down. It was fucking awesome. I literally took every minute of it in, and it was a pretty crazy, unique experience.
So you were on the aisle. What exactly?
I was sitting. We were sitting right in front of the table.
Okay.
Right in front of where the president was.
Yes. And what exactly happened? So someone got tackled, or like what?
Nobody got tackled, but guys came in looking for shooters. And they came toward our table. I thought the shooter was over by us or something.
Look, rewind it.
Wait, you didn't get the... What's up?
Like, who takes selfies while...
No! Oh my God, you know what? Sorry, I'm so sorry.
The first thing he does is do a selfie. Like, the first thing he does is someone comes up to him and says, let's take a selfie. That's what interrupts...
Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hack.